Thank you, Joe. And as the Blue Jays hit the field in their home white uniforms with the blue numbers and blue caps, this first inning tonight brought to you by Ford Employee Pricing, ending September 30th. Drive to win and get $2,110 in total price adjustments on the 2016 Focus Titanium. When you pay what Ford employees pay, it's easy to get into a Ford. Well, take us into that clubhouse. This is a pennant race. There's no question about it. The Blue Jays have had difficulties winning first games of series, and it certainly means how pivotal this first game is for the Blue Jays, especially to get even with Boston rather than fall too back.
Well, the feeling in the clubhouse for me today and talking to some players is really a sense of calm. They all know how important these games are. Nobody has to tell them. As fans, they understand it. Players know very well what these games are worth, and especially the first game of the series tonight. So critical to try to win that first game, because then if you split two, you win the series. But I think with this veteran club, John Gibbons does not have anything to worry about. Josh Donaldson was talking to the media today. Really a sense of calm. They know the things that they need to do better. They know that they need to be better in a lot of phases of the ball game, but they feel they're very capable of amping it up here this weekend.
And they're home where they lead the American League in overall attendance and average attendance.
And Josh talked about that. He said there's nothing like coming home to our home crowd here in Toronto, especially after a rough road trip, but also to face the division now leading Boston Red Sox.
Well, Marco Estrada about to throw his last warm-up pitch. There it is. Deanna Navarro fires it down to second to Devin Travis, who whips it around the infield. And here comes Boston and their leadoff hitter, Dustin Pedroia, one of the best in the game. And all we have to tell you about Dustin, in his last 30 games, he's hitting .445 with an on-base percentage of .475, the OPS .993 with 49 hits. A tough test indeed for Marco Estrada. The crowd locked in. Pedroia steps in. Overcast skies, roof roll back, and into his windup is Estrada for the first pitch of the evening. Strike one on the outside corner, a pitcher's best friend, and with that we are underway. Xander Bogaerts is on deck to the right of home plate, and then Big Papi, the designated hitter. Donaldson backed up at third. The catcher, Navarro, sets the target. Strike one pitch outside. Tulowitzki's at short with Travis at second. Encarnacion rounds out the infield. Melvin Upton's at left. Kevin Pillar, medium depth center field, shaded a bit toward right center. And in right, Michael Saunders. Pitch on the way, outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. The DH is Jose Bautista. He will hit fourth. Glowing numbers against Rick Porcello. Jose 14 for 34, 3 home runs, a .412 average with 9 runs batted in. Estrada back to his hitter. Pedroia fouls one off to the right. 2 balls and 2 strikes, one of the best short, compact swings in a game of baseball.
Well, it's so critical for Marco. Location is big for him anyway, but when you're facing a hitter like Pedroia, Dustin's a hacker. He's not going up there looking for a walk. You have to stay on the edges of the plate. That last pitch was a perfect example.
And the 2-2 delivery. Breaking ball just missed. Ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. At 7:09, we are underway. 25 Celsius degrees at 77 degrees Fahrenheit. A full count on the Boston leadoff hitter. Sighting in over his black glove is Estrada. Now rocks into his compact windup. Kicks. Here's the full count pitch. Hit the right field, coming on Saunders. That's a base hit. Pedroia goes the other way. And there's base hit number 50. And we just talked about what he's done in his last now 31 games.
And that's Pedroia in a nutshell right there. This ball is elevated, and he reminds me a lot of Jose Altuve. Both not very big guys, but they can handle the ball at the top of the zone. Pedroia able to get on top of that ball and drill it into right field.
Xander Bogaerts comes to the plate. Young man from Aruba. He's just 23. Bogaerts last 4 games, just 1 for 15. But having said that, he's driven in 5 runs. Sacrifice flies, ground balls, getting runners home from third with less than 2 outs. Infield looking for the double play ground ball. Estrada in with strike one. Brian Butterfield, our great friend, coaching at third for Boston. At first base, Ruben Amaro Jr. John Farrell on the bench, and his bench coach, Torey Lovullo. Edwin holds on Pedroia. Strike one pitch. Right there, strike 2 called. Nice off-speed pitch.
It's a little cut fastball from Estrada. The fastball is only averaging about 88 miles per hour. curveball, cutter, and changeup. And there's the cutter, about 85, 86, right on the outside corner where it needs to be.
Bogaerts in his career just 2 for 17 off Estrada. Marco's ready. Short lead by Pedroia. Strike 2 pitch. High, ball 1. The Red Sox will run. Pedroia has 7 stolen bases. He's been caught 4 times. But Mookie Betts, 21 thefts of the 74 the Red Sox have. And they've been caught as a team just 19 times. They have speed. They have power. They're scoring more runs than anybody in Major League Baseball. 1-2 pitch. Low, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bogaerts paws at the dirt. Sends a chalk flying. Almost obliterating already that white chalk line behind the batter's box here. But he's right on top of the plate. He's a good foot from that back line. Estrada works on the first base side of the rubber, the stretch. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It is low, ball 3. And Estrada enters the game here, having thrown more balls than strikes now. 6 balls, 5 strikes.
Well, Marco made a great pitch on that 1-2, and Dioner Navarro wanted the call. Marco did too, didn't get it. And against a good hitter like Xander Bogaerts, it looked to me like Marco just amped up and overthrew that last pitch.
We'll see if Pedroia takes off here. He does not. 3-2 pitch, hit foul down the right field side, back out of play. The Blue Jays this year are 7-6 in the 13 meetings with Boston. The ERAs are the same. The Red Sox have pitched to an ERA of 4.32. The Blue Jays staff 4.34. Each team has scored 62 runs. The Blue Jays have out-homered Boston 19-7. It's going to be interesting to see if home runs determine how this weekend goes. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That's how it goes with a 77-mile-an-hour pitch. 1 down.
Designated hitter number 34, David Ortiz.
Estrada can throw that changeup at any time in the count, and he saved a good time for his best one right there.
So here he is, David Ortiz, 40 years old, big 6'4", left-handed hitter, built like a condominium, born in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Ortiz has announced his retirement. He's hitting .318, 31 home runs, 107 runs batted in, 44 doubles. And he's 2 for 2 stealing bases. That's doing it all. No score, just getting started. Pedroia at first, shift on, 3 infielders to the right of second. Big Papi takes outside, ball 1. Ortiz said about a month ago, I shouldn't have announced my retirement because I have so many demands put upon me. And I've got work to do, trying to take this team to another World Series. He's already won 3 World Series in Boston. He takes it high, 2-0. And we bring that up because what did he do here at 3:54 p.m., well before batting practice with Sean Casey? A television clinic in the batting cage. And he obliged. But he's doing that everywhere he goes, just about every game. It can be a distraction. The 2-0 pitch is fouled off to the right, to the screen. It's 2-1.
And Blue Jays fans are hoping that those things were distractions this afternoon because David has had tremendous success here at Rogers Center against the Blue Jays. Always a tough, big left-handed hitter.
No one in the history of the Blue Jays' 40 seasons has hit more home runs against him than David Ortiz. How many has he hit? How about an even 60? 2-1 pitch. Inside, ball 3. And again, Estrada fighting his command right here. 9 balls, 8 strikes over 17 pitches. This is very much unlike Marco. And having said that, his last 4 starts, his ERA 7.29. Opponents have hit .306 off him. And in the last 4 starts, averaging just 5 1/3 innings. Pedroia the lead at first. 3-1 pitch. Fly ball, center field. Coming on for it, Kevin Pillar. He is under it. He has it. 2 down. And Big Papi will walk head down back to the first base dugout.
Well, Marco was excellent for quite a while in his last start, and that was down there in St. Pete against the Rays. He was cruising along through 5 innings, and then things just unraveled in a hurry. Allowed a 5-run 6th inning capped by a Matt Duffy bases-clearing triple. What looked like an excellent outing for Marco came apart in a hurry.
So we go from a 40-year-old to a 23-year-old, both vying for MVP awards. This is Mookie Betts, right-handed hitter, right fielder, takes strike 1 calls. What a combination. These two have been at both ends of the age spectrum.
Both ends of the age spectrum, and I think they have to both be in the MVP conversation. Mookie Betts, what an exciting young player in this game.
30 home runs, 100 runs batted in for him. A strike called, evens the count now. It makes it no balls and 2 strikes. So Estrada gets ahead of this young man. No balls and 2 strikes. Just getting started, Pedroia with the leadoff hit, still anchored at first base. Stretched by Estrada. There goes Pedroia. Strike 2 pitch. Hit down the right field side foul. That'll twist back out of play. Saunders goes across the line into foul ground on the track, but he'll make a quick U-turn and go back to first as Pedroia returns to the bag at first. Saunders back to right field.
Well, Marco not overly concerned with Pedroia at first base, but Dustin got a great jump. He had that bag stolen easily if Betts does not swing.
Estrada set. Pedroia does not go. Strike 2 pitch. High ball 1. Betts in his last 14 games hitting .351, a couple of home runs of those 30. Driven in 11 over the last 14 games, always dangerous. Estrada trying to come out of this ticklish first inning here, having to work. He is set. And throw over to first base, Pedroia back in. The Red Sox have scored 764 runs. Now, Blue Jays have scored quite a few runs themselves, 675, but it pales in comparison to the other number. The 1-2 pitch, lined in the right center field. That's up the gap. That's going to split the outfielders, and it bounces over the head of Michael Saunders, taken by Pilar. Whips the throw back to the infield. Travis to the plate. Here comes Pedroia. He slides in safely without a tag. Navarro had to go up the first base line to short hop the throw. And a 2-out RBI double by Mookie Betts gives Boston a 1-0 lead here in the first inning as Betts drives in his 101st.
That was a 1-2 pitch from Estrada. It did not look like Betts got all of this ball. He hit it into the gap. Saunders came over to the gap. It looked like he was just going to play it on one hop, but it's almost as though he over-pursued the baseball off the right-handed bat. Ball had some spin on it, came back towards Michael. By the time they retrieved the baseball, it's too late getting the relay home to get Pedroia.
Well, the batter now, Hanley Ramirez. Right-handed hitting veteran. Ramirez has found a home at first base, former shortstop. In left field, it didn't work out for him last year. But Ramirez hitting .283, 21 home runs, 90 runs batted in. So Betts is at second base. And we mentioned he's 21 of 24 stealing bases. So Estrada still has to be careful with him at second base. Pitch on the way. Ramirez fouls one off to the right. Strike 1.
Well, as an outfielder with a runner on first base, the big thing you want to do is keep that ball in front of you. Once it goes by you in the gap or over your head, Pedroia is going to score from first base. And it looked like the way Michael was pursuing it, he wanted to play it on that one hop, but it came back to him. You want to really sit back and almost be defensive with that baseball. Then you get it into your cutoff man, and I got to believe Brian Butterfield would have had to hold Pedroia at third base.
But here in the first inning, trying to get that elusive third out is Estrada. The strike 1 pitch. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hanley Ramirez, a .378 hitter last 9 games. It just is endless here with what the Boston Red Sox can do. And now having scored 765 runs.
Well, the numbers do not lie. This is a very deep lineup.
The stretch. 1-1 pitch. Low and outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. And Estrada wants a new baseball. He personally throws that toward the Blue Jays' third base dugout and gets a new one from the plate umpire Chad Fairchild. Ramirez from the Dominican Republic. He was drafted as a teenager by the Red Sox in 2000. They later traded him to the Marlins. Then he was with the Dodgers and now back with Boston, the team that signed him. He checks his swing. It is low. 3 balls and 1 strike. And Estrada having a tough first inning here. 14 strikes, 13 balls thrown. Pedroia leads off with a single to right, a strikeout and a flyout later. Betts with the double up the gap to right center. On deck, Travis Shaw. 3-1 pitch. Strike 2 called. Ramirez had started toward first base, and now it's full 3-2.
Well, Marco is a pitcher. He's a command pitcher, has to be on the edges of the zone. And when you're facing a lineup like this, it just gets more and more difficult with each hitter. And you can see him laboring through this inning because he feels like he has to be exact and precise with all of his pitches.
This is a 13-minute first inning here for Marco Estrada and his teammates out on the field. Glove at the chest. The 3-2 pitch, low ball 4, and 2 on, 2 outs for the left-hand hitting Shaw. And here comes pitching coach Pete Walker.
Well, this is what this lineup will do to you. And if you think back to last season, now you know what opposing pitchers were feeling like facing the Blue Jays lineup. It was so deep. Each and every hitter that came up really grinded out these at-bats. Look at what the Red Sox are doing here. Almost 5 pitches every at-bat, it seems like. They're just working Estrada, and they know as hitters they're going to make him come onto the plate. And if you look at these 2 balls hit this inning, both by Pedroia and Betts, good at-bats where they just waited for him to leave the ball in the zone.
And really, too, Joe, how big are those 2-out RBI hits, and that was Betts here in this first inning.
101 RBIs on the season. Absolutely remarkable season for Mookie Betts.
So here's Shaw. Left-handed hitter and a good one. Open stance set deep in the box. Runners at first and second. Estrada's high, ball 1. Now Marco there at just 85 miles an hour.
That's that cut fastball. He'll try to backdoor it to lefties. He'll also throw it in, throw both sides of the plate just off of his fastball.
Travis Shaw at the plate. The 1-0 pitch to him. Half swing. Does he go? No on the appeal, says the third base ump and the crew chief Jim Joyce. 2 balls and no strikes. Shaw has chipped in with 32 doubles and 16 home runs.
He's had his struggles lately, but we saw him swinging a pretty hot bat earlier in the season. They've had a little bit of a carousel going on down there at third base with Pablo Sandoval missing this season.
Betts at second, Ramirez at first. The pitch is high. 3-0. I think it's fair to say they do not miss the big Panda.
No, not at all. Especially with the way this offense has been firing on all cylinders.
So the bullpen phone looks like it's been ringing out in left center field. Estrada's 33rd pitch is outside, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. Danny Barnes is going to start to loosen up in the Blue Jays pen in left center. Betts at third, Ramirez at second, Shaw at first, and the catcher Sandy Leon comes up. And Barnes has just thrown his first warm-up pitch out in the pen. 18 balls, 15 strikes, 33 pitches in for Marco. Leon, the 7th man to bat in John Farrell's lineup. Switch hitter, batting left-handed. He waits the pitch. Outside, ball 1. This is a big moment in the game already. It's 1-0 Boston. And with 2 straight walks after the RBI double, Estrada trying to leave it right there. Pedroia down from third. The 1-0 delivery, a strike called, and it's 1-1. Well, as we said at the opening, it's playoff baseball in September. This is the environment that the Blue Jays are in right now against a team that has a 1-game lead on them in the AL East. The 1-1 offering. Hit on the ground down to first. Backhanded by Edwin. Take it to the bag. The inning is now over. 36 pitches later, the Red Sox ring out 1 run on 2 hits. There were 2 walks. They leave 3. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Blue Jays coming up. You're listening to Home Hardware Blue Jays Baseball.
From the people who help keep the lights on. The Power Workers Union.
Flying deep to left field. Base hit. It is gone. Slap bunt to the mound.
Don't miss a minute of Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Fans, submit your questions via Twitter using the hashtag HHExperts and then have them answered later in our game. It's all brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice. Well, after a 17-minute top of the first inning where the Red Sox scored 1 run sent 7 men to the plate, left the bases loaded. Rick Porcello, trying to become Major League Baseball's first 20-game winner, delivers his first pitch, and it's in their strike one called to Devin Travis. 2 ex-Tigers in their organization. Devin never played for the Tigers. He got pretty close before dealt to Toronto last year, but Porcello was a star early on. Ground ball top to short, charged by Bogart. Sander takes his time, fires to first, 1 down. So, Joe, you should feel pretty comfortable with all these Tigers around here.
Well, Rick was a big part, of course, of those Detroit Tigers' 4 straight AL Central titles between 2011 and 14.
Porcello had a great rookie year, 14-9. That was back in 2009 when he was 19. He was just 2 years out of a high school in Morristown, New Jersey.
Seems like such a veteran now, and he is at age 27. How about that? Pitching at 20 in the big leagues.
Well, he's got Josh Donaldson up here. First pitch to Josh. Strike 1 on the outside corner. On deck, a couple of key hitters who have had great success against Porcello. Edwin Encarnacion and Jose Bautista. Even Donaldson's a .286 lifetime hitter against Rick with a home run. Strike on the outside corner, fastball at 90, no balls and 2 strikes.
Both two-seam fastballs to Donaldson, starting off the plate away, and he's just bringing it back, catching that outside corner. Those are great pitches by a pitcher to these big-time hitters.
Porcello is 19-3, ERA 3.25. The 6'5" righty delivers a swing and a foul back. Get your 2017 season ticket memberships. Blue Jays season ticket member benefits include access to season ticket member exclusive events and enrollment in the My Blue Jays program. Visit bluejays.com/season tickets. Porcello the motion and the 0-2 pitch. That is high. Luis Rivera, hopeful of some company. He's coaching at third, down at first. Tim Leeper. A lot of people will be going his direction. He wants them to take quick lefts. 1-2 pitch. Line to center field. Right there, Jackie Bradley. He stalks it a bit, makes the catch. 2 down.
First baseman, number 10, Edwin Encarnacion.
Encarnacion, as we mentioned, good numbers against Porcello. He's a lifetime .382 hitter with 13 hits. That includes 3 home runs, 5 doubles. And he and Bautista, who's on deck, have to ignite the attack. The pitch is high, ball 1 for Josh Donaldson. Last 5 games, and now this is 6th with this fly out to center. He's 1 for his last 17.
He's in a real trough right now, and going to need him to come back this weekend.
1-0 Boston, first inning. There's a strike on the outside corner. It evens the count 1-1. It's going to take a lot of people up and down the lineup to make it happen, but the key people will be Donaldson, Encarnacion, and Bautista. Fly ball down the left field side, foul. Hook foul by plenty, and they count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I think the best thing that Marco Estrada did in that first inning, certainly an inning he's not going to be very happy about, but he limited the Red Sox to just 1 run. And that's what we talk about oftentimes, is limiting the damage, really trying to keep that under control. He did that, keep his team in the ball game here early.
Travis Shaw backed up at third near the line. The catcher is Sandy Leon. And the Porcello 1-2 pitch. Line to center field. Bradley there for another one. Hit right at him. He makes the catch. The inning is over. So settle in. Great to have you with us tonight here at the Rogers Center. End of 1. Red Sox 1. Blue Jays nothing. You're listening to Home Hardware Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Call Diamond & Diamond Lawyers for a free consultation at number 1-800-567-HURT. As we go to the second inning, 1-0 Boston. Marco Estrada's first pitch misses inside, ball 1 to the left-handed hitting center fielder Jackie Bradley. One of 2 Red Sox who did not come to the plate in the first. Bradley takes it inside 2-0. Estrada in that first inning threw 19 balls, 17 strikes, 36 pitches, left the bases loaded, inducing Sandy Leon to ground out to first. He's back 2-0. High ball 3, and it won't take as long now for Danny Barnes to start to loosen up again if this is what's going to happen.
Well, the command is just not there. That was a 2-0 cutter called by Deano Navarro, and I watched him set up on the inside part of the plate. Marco nowhere near hitting his spot.
His next pitch is outside and low, so ball 4, not close with any of those, and a discouraged look on Estrada's face, and you can't blame him, as this is very much unlike him. We even said the last 4 starts, his ERA 7.3, and something has happened.
He certainly is, and you have to wonder, there's the back issue that, of course, he spent some time on the disabled list earlier. The Blue Jays then went to the 6-man rotation. He's been pitching out of sync, but clearly just not himself. Looked great in that last start against the Rays for 5 innings. Thought maybe he had locked it in, and then, as we said earlier, it unraveled in a hurry.
Left-hand hitting, 9th hitter. Left fielder Brock Holt up. Runner does not go. Holt takes a strike. Brock has never faced Estrada. He comes up here adjusting his batting gloves. He's a .350 hitter the last 2 weeks in that Boston lineup. A home run, 4 doubles. Donaldson even with a bag at third. Edwin holds on the runner. Bradley at first. A quick throw over, and diving back in is Bradley. As we mentioned, a 17-minute top of the first inning. Then Porcello whips through the Blue Jays in about 2.5 minutes, getting Travis, Donaldson, and Encarnacion. Strike 1 pitch. Bloop foul off to the left, 0-2.
Well, Porcello looked like a 19-game winner in the bottom of the first inning, carving through those top 3 hitters. And it's nothing overpowering from Rick, but what he does is he's locating the baseball very well, and that's what he's been doing. Very consistent all season long, and we saw that in the first inning. The Blue Jays are going to have to continue to wait him out, try to get some mistakes in the middle part of the plate.
And the 0-2 pitch. High, ball 1. And really, too, the fastball now is at 85-86, whereas it used to be pretty much 88-89.
Averaging over 88 on the season. We'd see a lot of 88, 89s, and even 90s at times, but we're seeing that 87, 88 happening a lot more than we were earlier in the year.
And the 1-2 pitch. That's outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And if you're Chad Fairchild and you're looking at a pitcher who has thrown 25 balls, 19 strikes, you're not going to get a lot of borderline calls.
You know what, that was a good changeup right there, but it was off the plate away. Deanna was set up out there, and he hit the glove.
Bradley, the lead, draws a throw.
And even on ball 4 to Jackie Bradley, Marco missed miserably with the first 3 pitches, but then the 3-0 pitch just missed on the corner at the knees. Very close pitch, could have gone either way, but very difficult to ask for that call after you've been nowhere near the zone.
Infield double play depth. And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Beautiful off-speed pitch. Second strikeout tonight for Marco, and boy, did he need it.
And in saying all that, I'm still a believer that a strike is a strike and a ball is a ball, but it's just human nature. I know catching for so many years, umpires have that tendency to give you more pitches or give you those close pitches if you're all around the zone.
So 2 walks set alongside 3 walks. 1 each here in this inning. The leadoff walk to Bradley, the strikeout of Holt, and now here's Pedroia, who singled to right and scored the game's only run back in the first. We're in the second inning. He takes outside ball 1. In a game that is 30 minutes old already. 30 minutes. But it's a testament to how tough it's been here for Estrada to command his pitches. Bradley the lead. The 1-0 pitch fouled off right down below us, 200 level. 1 ball and now 1 strike.
Might be the best way to attack Pedroia is soft, soft, and softer. That was a changeup, but again, missing with location. When you leave a changeup up in the zone, that's where a guy like Pedroia can still hurt you. Get that down, and he's less likely to square it up.
The stretch again. The 1-1 pitch, foul back. Blue Jays anywhere? Well, download the Sportsnet app today for unrivaled news, analysis, and video highlights of Canada's team. Plus, don't miss a single pitch with the in-depth live game tracker. Available on iOS and Android devices. Pedroia with 2 down, doubled home by Mookie Betts. The cleanup hitter shot up the gap into right center. Here's the 1-2 pitch to him. Bounces away from Navarro. Up to second base goes the runner Bradley. And that's a big advancement right there, taking away the possibility of the grounded into double play. So Estrada with a wild pitch to add to everything else. And Gianno Navarro, they're trying to block it, couldn't do it.
Well, that's a wild pitch, but that's a ball Gianno has to block. And as a catcher, when you call the curveball, especially Marco, he's got that nice slow curveball in that 76, 77 mile per hour zone. It's right over the top. You can see it very well. You've got to get your body in front of that baseball and block with your chest protector.
Big lead there by Bradley. He's dancing off the bag. Travis to the bag. That caught the attention of Estrada, who stepped off the rubber, couldn't make a play back. Red Sox trying to add to an early 1-0 lead. But Travis again stays close to the bag. Bradley the lead. 2-2 pitch to Pedroia. Lined up the middle. A base hit into center field. Bradley cuts the corner. He's heading home. Pillar's throw clears the mound. The slide. The ball skips by Navarro. Goes to the backstop. Sprinting to third base is the runner. The slide. The head first tag. And out at third base. Dustin Pedroia. Second out of the inning. Boston gets another run and they lead 2-0.
Shortstop number 2, Xander Bogaerts.
Well, as the fastball out over the plate, Devin Travis was jockeying back and forth trying to hold that runner on. I'm wondering if he did not put himself in a bad position behind second base umpire Marvin Hudson. Not sure Travis saw that ball all the way off the bat, but once the throw came home, the pitcher Estrada has to be backing up. He's not there. He's a spectator in the middle of the infield. Luckily, Navarro was able to retrieve the baseball and throw Pedroia out at third.
So Pedroia 2 for 2. He singled and scored. Now singles home a run. Xander Bogaerts first pitch swinging. Hits one down the right field line. Devin Travis, a long run, the second baseman, makes the catch. A basket catch right there on the line. Caught fair with Saunders coming in from right and Edwin going down the line. But a good catch by Travis. The Socom. Now that's devilishly good. 2-0 Boston. Rick Porcello with a strike call on the inside corner to Blue Jays DH and cleanup hitter Jose Bautista as we start the second inning. A swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. Porcello had an 11-pitch first inning. 9 strikes, 2 balls. And he's off here to an 0-2 count here to start the second. His next pitch bends inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bautista, in his career, a .412 hitter against Rick, 14 hits, including 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in. Porcello's pitch inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And right now, anybody in the league trying to solve this 19-game winner.
Well, Rick Porcello has been excellent. Fastball is just going to average over 90. Curveball, slider, and changeup. He's got all 4 pitches. He will elevate that fastball, the 4-seamer, and get hitters to chase.
Breaking ball inside, ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Very effective pitch for Porcello. He used to be more of a 2-seam sinker ball pitcher in his Detroit days, but he's kind of graduated from that and pitching a little bit differently right now, but really learning as a major league pitcher.
Full count pitch, strike 3 call. Jose caught looking on a great breaking ball at 84 miles an hour. 1 down.
The shortstop, number 2, Troy Tulowitzki.
Mike Wilner has the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard.
And, Jerry, the big game of the night, other than the one right here, is being played just up the 401 in Detroit, where the Tigers are playing host to the Baltimore Orioles. Detroit is a game back of the Orioles for the second wild card spot in the American League.
Troy Tulowitzki to the plate, takes a fastball for a strike.
And deadline acquisition Eric Ibar has doubled in a run for Detroit. They're up 1-0 as they play in the top of the third, looking to move into a playoff spot.
Porcello's pitch, strike 2 call. There's that breaking ball again. This one at 73.
Yankees lead the Rays 1-0. They're in the top of the second in the Bronx. An RBI double by Rob Refsnyder there. And Clayton Kershaw is back off the disabled list.
The strike 2 pitch outside.
But Kershaw doesn't seem to be himself. The Marlins lead the Dodgers 2-0 in the bottom of the second. JT Real Muto has his 10th home run of the season. For all the scores and stats, go to sportsnet.ca.
Thank you, Mike Tulowitzki, trying to get aboard here, second inning. And the Porcello pitch, hit on the ground to the right side, backhanded, knocking him down as Hanley Ramirez throws to the bag. Porcello goes over, makes the play as Ramirez backhanded it and then stumbled and was able to recover.
Number 30, Deoner Navarro.
Well, Hanley Ramirez has been a pleasant surprise at first base for John Farrell and the Red Sox. This is an experiment that didn't go so well last year out in the outfield. They've tried him over on the corner, and he's played surprisingly well.
One thing about Hanley, he's got those long cornrows flowing out from that Boston cap of his, and every now and then when he comes to the plate, maybe it'll happen this weekend, he'll take a big cut, the helmet goes flying, and then everybody can see the dreadlocks. 2-0 Boston. Deanna Navarro takes a strike here in the second inning. Porcello rolling along here. 22 pitches, 16 strikes, 6 balls. Navarro fouls one at the plate. No balls and 2 strikes.
And there's the curveball. What Rick does so well is he mixes in both breaking pitches. The slider's around 85 miles per hour. The curveball around 73, 74. It's 2 different breaking pitches at 2 different velocities for the hitters to handle along with that fastball.
Fastball inside. So the shift on for Deanna. Dustin Pedroia at second, out in shallow right field. The shortstop has stayed the same. Xander Bogaerts, the third baseman, has shifted from third to second as Travis Shaw. Navarro swing and a miss, strike 3. And Porcello 6 up and 6 down with a 2-0 Boston lead as we go to the third. You're listening to Home Hardware Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet. 2-0 Boston, third inning. David Ortiz up. 3 infielders to the right of second. Estrada's pitch, and Ortiz shows bunt, takes it outside, ball 1, sprinting in from shortstop, third baseman Josh Donaldson. We have seen Ortiz bunt his way on with the shift.
Ortiz just keeping Josh honest over there, but I'm sure the Blue Jays will gladly give him a little bunt single and keep him in the ballpark.
Marco's pitch, low, ball 2, 2-0, and those 40-year-old legs, they can still churn around the bases.
If he gets a bunt down the third baseline, it's going to be a base hit. Josh is almost playing behind the second base bag. There's nobody over there, but with the success David has had in this building, I think that's a bluff.
A very favorable count here for Ortiz at 2-0. Pitch is inbound. Outside, ball 3, and unfortunately tonight, Marco Estrada, that ball with a mind of its own. 30 balls, 24 strikes, 54 pitches already. Now time is called. So Estrada sights in. Navarro the target. The 3-0 pitch, got the green light and popped it up foul. Third base side, maybe playable. Navarro to his own dugout, still going over. The catcher's there, backpedals, makes the catch, falls on his back as the ball squirted out of his glove. Was able to capture it still and gets a handshake there, a glove tap from Marco Estrada.
Right fielder number 50, Mookie Betts.
Well, those are the balls as a catcher. It's great to get help from your third baseman, but with the shift on against Ortiz, Donaldson was playing way over by the second base bag. So this is Navarro's ball all the way, and he almost over-pursued it. As a catcher, you remember the spin of the baseball is coming back to the field of play. Almost overran it, but made a nice little recovery.
You think that might be the play of the game? Whenever you can retire David Ortiz, you've done something. The 1 out into the third, 2-0 Sox. A strike called here to Xander Bogaerts. Tune in after our game for the Acura play of the game, brought to you by the 2017 Acura RDX, starting from just $44,375. Visit your GTA Acura dealer for details. Estrada with a strike, no balls and 2 strikes. Marco trying to stay in there. Left-hander Aaron Luke beginning to warm up now in the Blue Jays pen. Marco's low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mookie Betts here at the plate. Double homer run back in the first inning. A shot to right center. Betts takes it high. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mookie came to the plate in that first inning, 0 for 11 in his career against Estrada. And with Pedroia at first and 2 down, he rocked one to right center field. And that was able to bring Pedroia home. Then a run that Pedroia singled home in the second to make it 2-0 here in the third. Pitch. Fly ball hit the left center field, moving over Upton. Melvin running, reaches down. It's off his glove. He picks it up on the carom, throws it back to second on the fly. That forces the runner, Betts, to go back to first. As Upton came right over, and as he reached down, the ball kicked off his glove.
Well, Melvin had a long ways to go traveling into that left center gap. It looked like he was there. He did not make a diving attempt. He stuck his glove out, thought he was catching it, and it looked like he just came up short. The glove was down by his knee, close to the ground. I thought maybe he was going to slide even into this ball, but he felt that he could get there. It just went off his glove.
So base hit. He was pretty much fully extended there. That puts Betts on 2 for 2, and now Estrada's got to watch him. He's 21 of 24 stealing bases. Hanley Ramirez up. Right-handed hitter, veteran, takes inside ball 1. And with the Red Sox, plays like that are not made, they really come back to haunt you.
Well, especially with Mookie Betts on first base. He's been battling a bit of a knee issue the last week or so, but we'll see if he still tries to test it out.
A foul back. It goes to the right-hand side near the screen, and on-deck hitter Travis Shaw. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Red Sox are relentless, and that's going to happen when you've scored now 766 runs. A team batting average of 286. How good is that? That's 19 points better than the runner-up Detroit Tigers, hitting a solid 267.
Well, this team can beat you so many ways. They hit for average, they walk, they get on base, they can hit the long ball.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Low ball 2, 2-1. Now with Travis Shaw, the left-handed hitter, on deck, Estrada's getting perilously close to leaving this game with Aaron Loup out in the pen.
Well, I think Pete Walker is seeing exactly what we're seeing from up here. He just does not have the feel for the baseball, and the body language really shows it, too, after a lot of his pitches, fidgeting around on the mound.
The pitch fouled off left-hand side, 2-2.
As a catcher, that's what I look for a lot of times. It's one thing when you have the best seat in the house as a catcher, you know what the baseball is doing, and when a pitcher like Marco that you know very well is not crisp and sharp with his pitches, but then it's the body language. After he throws that pitch and you kind of see him flinch his arm or flinch his shoulders, just not happy and knowing he's just not feeling comfortable tonight.
Marco pitching with 5 days rest. His last outing in St. Pete against the Rays. He's set. Deals 2-2. Moves outside, ball 3. And it's really, in great part, too, not only the lack of command, but that 89, 88 mile an hour pitch is just not there tonight.
Looking like overall that the velocities have seem to be kind of down. I didn't look at the numbers, but just with my own eyes, it doesn't seem to be that crispness that we've been seeing last year and earlier this year.
There goes the runner. The pitch popped up down the right side. Running down the line, Edwin Encarnacion. Michael Saunders comes in. It falls in between the two of them. Saunders picks it up from foul ground, throws to third. Mookie Betts, the head first slide, beats the tag by Donaldson. Reaching first on a blue pit the other way, Hanley Ramirez. Here comes Pete Walker, so Estrada's going to stay in here to face the left-handed hitting Travis Shaw. But Pete here is going to try for a second time to help Estrada gather himself.
Well, I think gathering yourself is a key thing right here. Gianna Navarro out here. The two really bloop-type hits, even the one that Melvin Upton did not get to in left center field, was not hit hard by Mookie Betts at all. This one just blooped into shallow right field. Edwin had a long ways to go. Michael Saunders had a long ways to come from right and just landed in between them.
Betts at first had trouble picking up that baseball and then was able to recover and go and pick up an extra base.
It was a tricky read for him because he was so close to second base already and had to make sure that if somebody caught that baseball, he had to be able to get back to the bag at first.
Boston with 2 on, first and third, 1 out in the third inning. They have an early 2-0 lead. They've out-hit the Blue Jays 5-0 behind 19-game winner Rick Porcello. Shaw walked in the first. Travis takes inside ball 1. It was in the first inning after Pedroia singled and 2 outs later Betts doubled him home that Estrada walked Ramirez and Shaw back-to-back, but escaped the injury and that walk, and 2 of those walks of Sandy Leon grounded out to first base, leaving the bases loaded, giving up just the 1 run. Then a leadoff walk in the second and a wild pitch allowed Pedroia to single home Jackie Bradley. The pitch low, Navarro throws to third, diving back in head first Betts, and he beats the tag by Donaldson. Ryan Butterfield will go up to the third base bag to consult here with Mookie.
Well, it looked like Jim Joyce went up with the right arm at first with the out call, Jerry. And I don't know if Donaldson maybe got the knee down and blocked the base a little bit, applied the tag, but then it appeared as though Betts got the hand in there and Joyce went out giving the safe call. Gianna Navarro and Josh Donaldson with a little pickoff play on.
Well, Josh dropped the ball, it looked like, too. It looked like he caught it, and then when he dropped it, I think that's when Joyce had to reconsider.
That's exactly right. The ball popped out of his glove. I think they had him.
A clean catch, and they do have him. That's what Joyce saw, too. So it's 2-0 here, the count on Shaw. Travis, a swing and a miss. Now, there's one of the best pitches that Estrada's thrown here tonight, especially without that good higher velocity fastball.
That was the good changeup, but that's the changeup we're used to seeing Marco throw all the time. He just has not had it. Really, all 4 of his pitches tonight has not had the feel or the location.
The runners lead with 1 out here in the 3rd. 2-1 pitch, low, ball 3. Aaron Loup has finished his warm-ups. On deck is switch hitter Sandy Leon, and then 2 left-handed hitters after that, Jackie Bradley and Brock Holt. Betts at 3rd, Ramirez at 1st. Infield looking for the double play ground ball. 3-1 pitch. Strike 2 called. It's full now, 3-2. And that's the best fastball he's thrown here tonight, 87 miles an hour for velocity.
And that's not up there too high either. Again, not a high-powered fastball pitcher, but we usually see him up there at 88 and 89 at times.
The stretch. There goes the runner Ramirez. The pitch hit the left field shallow. Coming on, Melvin Upton running. Betts is going to tag. Upton the catch. He dropped it. He dropped the ball. Here comes the runner Betts to score. An error on Upton. To second base goes Ramirez, and Boston goes out in front 3-0 on a drop ball. The second one off Upton's glove here in this inning. He just tried to do it too quickly, anticipating the tag, which was going to probably be there, a bluff if nothing else.
Well, we thought this road trip was bad for the Toronto Blue Jays, but the sky is falling right here tonight at Rogers Center. Whatever can go wrong will go wrong, and that's exactly what happened. Upton knows that with Betts on third base, he has to be quick catching that ball and transferring it to his throwing hand, but he was just a little too quick, and he never caught the baseball.
So Shaw reaches on an error charged to Melvin Upton. The run is in. Ramirez is at second. And the batter, Sandy Leon. Estrada's pitch. Foul right down below us, strike 1. Well, you go back again to the Mookie Betts liner into left center field where Upton went over and hit off his glove. Who has just scored? Mookie Betts. Yes, scored a base hit, but a play not made.
Absolutely, and we talked about this airtight defense of the Blue Jays last season.
Estrada's high.
And what really carried them in their postseason run, along with the great pitching, of course, but along with great pitching comes good defense behind you. We just have not seen a lot of that lately from the Blue Jays.
Ramirez at second, Shaw at first. Here, 1 out in the Boston third. They've scored a run in each inning. A line drive hit foul down the left field side. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Leon, who left the bases loaded back in the first. Estrada at 75 pitches, 39 balls, 36 strikes. That's how much of a labor it's been for him tonight. Marco ready. 1-2 pitch. Pop foul back out of play. Just off to our left. Still 1-2. Travis Shaw, 26. Sandy Leon at the plate here. Travis Shaw at first base. Ramirez at second. So the bearded Leon trying to solve Estrada here for a second time. Estrada's on the high wire, and the Sox are trying to knock him off. A look at second. The 1-2 pitch. Line to right field. That's a base hit. That'll go to the wall and hit the wall on a bounce. Taken by Michael Saunders. Ramirez in to score. The throw to second. That drives Leon back to first. Coming in to score, Ramirez. Shaw goes to third, and Boston leads at 4-0, and Marco Estrada just does not have it tonight. And here comes John Gibbons with the hook in his hand to bring in Aaron Loup. 39 balls, 38 strikes, 77 pitches. That is so unlike Marco Estrada. And now, Joe, you almost have to go back not to the 6-man rotation, but to the chronic back problems that he's had, because other than that, what could it be?
Well, when you see a pitcher as good as Marco struggle like this, for me right away it's two things. It's either injury, is he feeling okay, or is there something wrong mechanically with Westman as a catcher? Maybe you're going to run a fastball back in on his hands to keep him honest.
Jackie Bradley to the plate here for Boston. Runners at first and third, 1 out. 2 here in this third inning to bump the count to 4-0. Avon hit the Blue Jays 6-0. Loop's first pitch, inside ball 1. Bradley led off the second inning. It was 1-0 Boston as they scored a run. 7 men coming to the plate off Estrada in the first inning, but he left the bases loaded. But Bradley walked on 4 pitches to start that second inning, and later Marco wild pitched him to second, allowing Pedroia to single him home. Ground ball hit between third and short, taken by Tulowitzki. Go to second one. Travis back to first. Pull it to the inning-ending double play. Aaron Loup comes on to get not 1 out but 2. But Boston scores 2 as we go to the bottom of the third inning. Red Sox lead at 4-0. You're listening line at VTechTrivia.com for your chance to win. 4-0 Boston, bottom of the third inning. The Blue Jays bring up Michael Saunders, who takes strike 1 from the 6'5" right-hander and 19-game winner Rick Porcello. Melvin Upton and Kevin Pillar to follow. 4-0 Red Sox with 6 hits already. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. For Marco Estrada, 77 pitches, 39 balls, 38 strikes over 2 1/3 innings, giving up those 4 runs on 6 hits. At the other end of that spectrum is Rick Porcello, 27 pitches in, 20 strikes, 7 balls, 6 up and 6 down. A foul off to the left-hand side, still 0-2.
Well, Porcello is working masterfully right here into the third inning. Even this quick at-bat here against Michael Saunders, it's 0-2, but he leads off with a first-pitch fastball down on the inside part of the plate. Looked like maybe Saunders was looking for the off-speed pitch, gets the elevated fastball, and he swings through it. You can see it was a very defensive swing before fouling that one off.
And the strike 2 pitch hit hard and foul off to the left again. We mentioned earlier in the first inning, Mookie Betts was 0 for 11 against Marco Estrada when he doubled home Dustin Pedroia for the game's first run. Well, here's Michael Saunders in his career against Porcello, 0 for 13 with 6 strikeouts, trying to do what Betts did to Estrada. Strike 2 pitch is high. Sometimes those numbers can bedevil a hitter thinking, what do I have to do?
Well, and you almost start looking at that chess match happening, and Michael Saunders getting pounded in, all fastballs in the inner part of the plate here. At what point do you think maybe Porcello will go away? But you can't really guess with 2 strikes.
The shift on, the 1-2 pitch. Hit foul off to the left, and looks like Michael's trying to go to left field.
Well, there it was. There's a changeup after all of the fastballs in the inner part of the plate. But now Porcello, what he's been so good at is the location of his pitches. The fastballs that he's been coming in, he's been getting in there. That changeup's nice out over the plate. I got to believe he's going to try to come back inside again with that fastball.
So he reads his catcher, Sandy Leon. And the 1-2 pitch hit on the ground through the right side and through the shift. There is his first hit off Rick Porcello and the Blue Jays' first hit period tonight.
Left fielder number 7, Melvin Upton Jr.
Well, Michael Saunders was thinking the exact same thing. Porcello did try to run that fastball back in after the changeup, left it out on the plate a little bit, and Saunders was able to get the barrel to it.
Now Melvin Upton to the plate. Blue Jays are down 4-0 third inning. Now have a base runner, forcing Porcello to pitch from the stretch for the first time. And the pitch to Upton is inside and high, ball 1. JShop.ca is your official shop for authentic Blue Jays memorabilia, and now they have game-used jerseys, bats, baseballs, and more. So visit JShop.ca and click on Blue Jays Auction. Ramirez holds on Saunders. Porcello to his hitter, a foul at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. When Rick broke in, as we said, at the age of 19 with the Tigers, he went 14-9. He was a first-round Tigers pick 2 years before that in a high school there in Morristown, New Jersey. Then he went on to win 10 games, 14, 10 more, 13, 15, and was traded to the Boston Red Sox. He could be one of the longtime Tigers, never having won anything fewer than 10 games while he was wearing that uniform. The pitch is outside, 2-1. And he stumbled a bit last year in his first year with Boston, but now he's 19-3. It begs the question, Dave Dombrowski probably have to be asked, Rick Porcello, pretty good pitcher that he traded right there.
Well, that was the Yoenis Cespedes trade, if you remember, in December, the offseason 2014.
Upton takes low.
And it's interesting that when Porcello got to the Red Sox, it was last spring that he signed that big extension, 4 years, $82.5 million. He didn't have a very good year last year. Had a bit of a bout with an injury, but at the same time, you wonder, a lot of players, you'll see them that first year of a contract, going to their new team, maybe trying to do too much, This year, he has settled right in from the beginning of spring training.
Right where he was when he started. Pitches outside, ball 4. Upton draws a walk. And if you're Rick Porcello, you're saying to yourself, wait a minute, Melvin Upton, 9 walks, 38 strikeouts, and I walked him. That's a pretty good plate appearance if you're Upton.
And Rick Porcello does not walk people either. Among the American League leaders, just 1.3 walks per 9.
Well, the Blue Jays now looking to get into this game here. They're down 4-0 in the third. Kevin Pillar is the 9th hitter. He steps to the plate. Kevin, last 11 games, hitting .342. 3 doubles. He's driven in 3. Scored 6 himself. Saunders at second, Upton at first. Kevin shows bunt. That has to be on his own. The pitch is outside, ball 1. John Gibbons not looking to bunt here, down by 4.
I would not think so, not in the third inning either. But Kevin may be just doing that to take a pitch, look at Porcello for the first time, and now he's ahead in the count.
And the tall right-hander's pitch, a strike on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike. On deck, the leadoff hitter, Devin Travis. Well, Bogarts is at short, Pedroia at second, couple steps in and over to the bag for both of them. Travis Shaw at third base, backed up at first, Hanley Ramirez. 1-1 pitch, strike 2 called. Fastball outside corner at the knees. It's 1-2. Blue Jays coming off a 3-6 road trip. They've lost 5 of the last 6, 3 in a row. They've got their work cut out for them tonight. Porcello ready. Kicks and lets her fly. Breaking ball popped up into shallow right center field. Pedroia out. It drops in for a base hit. Taken by Betts. The right fielder drops it, but the runners hold, and the bases are loaded on 2 hits to right field around a walk. And there's the value of putting a ball in play.
Well, Kevin stayed on. He did not like the 2 calls before that, the fastballs. Porcello located 2 beautiful pitches at the bottom of the zone on the outside corner. Now he's behind 1 and 2, and Porcello goes to the curveball. It's out of the zone. He got Pillar to chase, but Kevin gets the barrel to it and drops it in there perfectly.
So here we go. The fans finally with something to cheer about here. Boston up 4-0. But here in this bottom of the third inning, 2 singles and a walk, and they're loaded with nobody out for Travis. Right-handed hitter against the 6'5 right-hander Porcello. Rick surrounded by Blue Jays. Cuts loose the first pitch. He's in there. Strike 1 called at 89. Saunders at third. Upton at second. Pillar at first. Crowd with that chant, let's go Blue Jays. The strike 1 pitch, strike 2 called, same place, it's 0-2.
Porcello's getting great action on his 2-seam fastball, starting it off the plate away and bringing him back to the corner. 2 pitches Pillar didn't like. Devin Travis is asking Chad Fairchild about that pitch right there, but Porcello just nailing the outside corner.
Rick is ready. Donaldson on deck. Here's the 0-2 pitch, it's high. The Blue Jays trying to get a couple of key hits here on that road trip where they went 3-6. They hit just .231, averaging only 3.9 runs per game. That is not going to cut it, especially in the American League with the DH. Boston's been averaging 5.5 runs per game this year, and the Blue Jays are right up there about the top 7 or 8, just under 5 runs per game. But the road trip, they did not score enough. In fact, they've hit only 2 home runs over the last 6 games, and that's their strength. 1-2 pitch is outside, stopped by Leon nicely. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is where the home run is going to have to be a factor here. It wasn't on the road, and you can see how sorely it was missed.
Well, they've got Rick Porcello on the ropes right here. This is the inning that they have to do some damage. They cannot let him go here by maybe scoring 1 run. This is where you have to do some damage. Not easy, though, when you got a guy on the mound that knows what he's doing. Right now, he's trying to get a ground ball off the bat of Travis.
2-2 on Devin. Now time called by the plate ump, Fairchild.
First he goes for the strikeout with that curveball in the dirt. Now with the count even, he'll probably come back in the zone and trust that two-seam fastball trying to get a ground ball.
Runners lead at every base with nobody out. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball hit between third and short. Through into left field, a base hit. Saunders scores. Upton to the plate. Here's the throw. It's up the first base line. Upton scores. The Blue Jays are in flight. They've cut the deficit in half, 4-2, as Pilar stops at second, and Devin Travis with a big two-run single.
Third baseman, number 20, Josh Donaldson.
Well, that's where hitting with runners in scoring position becomes so important. A big, big pitch by Porcello here. Came back with the curveball, but Travis was able to stay on it, left it up and out over the plate for a strike. Devin didn't hit it real hard, but he got it just in between Travis Shaw at third and Bogaerts the shortstop.
And there's one little plus to an all-dirt infield this year. Yes, some of the pops have been unpredictable, and as Darwin Barney said earlier, you have to wear it a few times. But the hitters to a man say this is so much a better hitting environment on the infield than the dirt cutouts and the artificial turf last year.
Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Travis found a hole. If he hits this ball at either one of the fielders, it could very easily been a double play ball that Porcello was looking for.
Last year, I think this ball would have been a double play on the turf. Here's Donaldson. Nobody out. Josh lined out to center his first time up. So Porcello, with runners at first and second, takes the stretch. And the pitch to Josh. Swing and a miss, strike one. With one swing, he was looking to give the Blue Jays the lead there. Donaldson sitting on 34 home runs as it is, 92 runs batted in. Porcello ready. And the 0-1 pitch. Foul back over the screen it goes. No balls and two strikes.
Well, remember earlier in the first couple of innings, I said the Blue Jays hitters are going to have to start getting Porcello to make mistakes and do damage, and that's one thing they've been able to do this inning. Porcello not quite on the edges like I was talking about the first two innings. Saunders hits a mistake hard into right field. Kevin Pilar barely gets the barrel to that curveball, lofting it into shallow right center.
0-2 pitch, strike three called, inside corner. Donaldson caught looking on a fastball, and he'll spin on his heels and walk back to the third base dugout. That's the first out.
Baseman, number 10, Edwin Encarnacion.
Third strikeout for Porcello. And here's Edwin, who lined out to center like Donaldson did back in the 1-2-3 first inning. Third inning, and the Blue Jays looking for more. Bautista to follow. Pitch on the way, hit on the ground to third, short hop by Shaw, go to second one, Pedroia to first, double play. The inning is over as Shaw just reached down and picked that ball beautifully off the dirt to rob Edwin of a possible base hit and a run back. This inning is brought to you by Harvey Brooker Weight Loss for Men. Call 416-222-9887 or go to harveybrooker.com. Remember, if you could do it alone, you would have done it already. Danny Barnes comes on in just his sixth game as a Blue Jay. Red Sox lead now cut in half at 4-2. And in this fourth inning, Brock Holt will start it off. Left-handed hitter batting ninth in John Farrell's lineup. Then the top of the order, Dustin Pedroia and Xander Bogaerts. Barnes pitch showing bunt is Holt. He takes it inside, ball one.
Well, Danny Barnes working in just his sixth game as a Blue Jay. Last pitched on Sunday against the Rays. 2 1/3 scoreless innings. He allowed one hit. Also struck a batter out in that Blue Jays 5-3 win.
Holt takes a strike, 1-1. And Danny is a strike thrower. We've seen that too.
He's done a nice job, and John Gibbons knows he's had a lot of success against left-handed batters. Doesn't have the traditional cutter or specialty pitched against left-handers, but he's been very effective.
There's a ground ball foul to the first base coach, Ruben Amaro Jr., 1-2.
Barnes may around 92 of that fastball, slider, and changeup. He'll mix in that changeup. That was the pitch right there that Holt was out front and fouled it to the right side.
And the 1-2 pitch hit on the ground over third, fair. That's a base hit down the line. Fielding it off to Karam and fumbling it is Melvin Upton. He throws it now late into second. And going into second with a double is Holt. And Melvin Upton having a tough night here. That's the third time a ball has clanged off his glove in left field. That would have been interesting with a clean catch had he had a play at second base.
Would have been very interesting. Brock Holt runs well, and he's thinking, too, right out of the batter's box. But the ball was hit very hard down the left field line. It caromed off the wall. Melvin had played it perfectly. But again, thinking, I think, about transferring that ball into his throwing hand a little bit too soon. Took his eye off his glove, and the ball never got in it.
Here's Dustin Pedroia. He has singled to score the game's first run, then single home run in the second. This is his third at-bat already here in the fourth inning. Boston leads at 4-2. He takes low, ball one. For the record, Danny Barnes has just given up his first hit in the big leagues to a left-handed hitter. He had held them to 0 for 9. He came up here holding left-handed hitters to 1 for 41. Left-handed hitters combined were 1 for 50 before this opposite field hit by Holt. Pedroia hits one off the right-hand side foul. That's going to get beyond the Red Sox dugout. That's a pretty remarkable run for a right-handed pitcher against all those left-handed batters.
Yeah, and as I said, he doesn't have the traditional weapon like a cut fastball or anything, but he uses a combination of his fastball with the changeup that we saw. Threw the changeup to Holt, and he was out front. Then he tried to go away with the fastball. Holt did a nice job, but I think Danny's got a little bit of deception in his delivery. A lot of times that 92 appears to be 94 or 5 to hitters as they're a little bit late on him.
Left-hander Brett Cecil begins to warm up now in the Blue Jays pen in left center. Starter Marco Estrada went just 2 1/3 innings, 77 pitches. Pitch on the way outside, gets away from Navarro, and the ball rolls to the backstop. To third base comes Holt. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike. DeHonor having a tough night behind the plate, too.
Now it's going to be a pass ball on Navarro. It was a slider from Barnes, and DeHonor just went to his backhand and missed it. Just did not catch it cleanly. Sometimes as a catcher, when that ball goes to your backhand, you really have to take your eyes to it, almost like a goalie in hockey. See it right into your glove.
John Gibbons forced to draw the infield in about halfway. Pedroia, pesky hitter here with a 2-1 count. From the stretch, the Barnes pitch outside, ball 3. So a double. And now the pass ball. Right after the Blue Jays just scored 2 to get back in the game. Barnes looks at third. Holt the lead. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Fly ball deep center field. Long run Kevin Pillar still going back at the track. He's there. He makes a backhanded catch. And strolling home is Holt as the pass ball comes back to haunt quickly. And with that run, Boston goes out in front 5-2. And against a team like this, you just cannot afford mistakes, and the Blue Jays have made so many tonight already and have paid the price.
Well, and especially the time of this mistake, this time by Melvin Upton, is right after the Blue Jays put 2 on the board to get this game back to being close. They got within 2, and then you go back out there on defense. Before you know it, the Red Sox add 1 on. That's when you really need that shutdown inning.
1 out, nobody on. Xander Bogaerts takes outside ball 1. In this inning, the injury report brought to you by Sokoloff Lawyers. Have you been seriously injured in an accident and don't know your rights? Well, don't let your insurance company play hardball with you and your family. Let Sokoloff Lawyers go to bat for you. That's all they do is personal injury. Barnes 1-0 pitch. Line through the left side. That's a base hit. So Bogaerts with his first hit. And a facetious applause here as it's fielded cleanly by Melvin Upton in left field. A little sting right there. It's never fun to get booed at home, and there to get cheered derisively like that.
Well, this game is very humbling, and I think every player can say it's happened to them at some point in their career where they have a bad performance or 2 or 3. The list can go on, and then you make a play and get that reaction. Not a lot of fun, but Melvin's going to have to just keep plugging away and moving forward.
There goes the runner. Ortiz takes the strike. The throw there, the slide, the tag out at second base. Is Bogaerts on a great tag and throw. The tag by Donaldson and the throw by Navarro. Well, Wendy Sokoloff, if you're listening, there are a lot of candidates here for these injuries. 416-966-HURT is the number to call, or visit ruhurt.ca. And Big Papi now is going to stand here alone with nobody on. 2 down in this 4th inning. The Red Sox have scored in every inning and lead it 5-2. Ortiz takes the ball, so it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, Barnes did a nice job getting the ball home efficiently to Diano Navarro, and then Diano can catch and throw. He's got those feet moving, and he threw a strike right on the bag at second base. Good arm strength as well.
Big Poppy hits a fly ball off the end of the bat into right center field. Coming on Pilar and Sanders. It's Saunders to make the catch right in front of Kevin. No collision, and the inning comes to an end. No runs. Inning, Red Sox 5, Blue Jays 2. Right-hander Rick Porcello to Jose Bautista. Jose takes strike 1 called. Bautista struck out looking back in the second. Porcello started the game 6 up and 6 down and had a 4-0 lead. Pitch is outside. That was going to the bottom of the 3rd inning when Devin Travis, with the bases loaded, single home 2 to cut the lead in half. But Porcello got the next 2 hitters, and now he throws a breaking ball at 73 miles an hour and clips Jose in the back. Well, Bautista will go down to first base, and Troy Tulowitzki coming up. You look back at that last inning, Devin Travis with the bases loaded, nobody out, singles homes 2. It's 4-2 Boston. And then what does Porcello do? Strikes out Donaldson looking, and Edwin hits into a double play. That's why he's won 19 games and dropped only 3.
And another break, too, for Porcello. Edwin hit a shot right to the third baseman, Travis Shaw, that turns out to be an inning-ending double play. And the Blue Jays had a couple of those in New York as well. Sometimes things aren't going your way, but when you're losing ball games, that's the way things seem to be going.
Tulowitzki takes strike 1. Five runs, 8 hits for Boston. No errors, 4 left. Blue Jays 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error, 1 left. Jose, a quiet lead at first, held on by Hanley Ramirez. Strike 1 pitch, belted center field deep. Backcourt, Jackie Bradley still going to the wall, turns, makes the catch on the track. Another hard hit ball. Bautista retraces his steps, comes back to first. That ball was tagged.
Catcher number 30, Diano Navarro.
Well, that's another hard hit ball off the Blue Jays bats, and as I said, Edwin's double play to end the 3rd inning is a game changer, and then that one right there, Troy cannot hit a baseball much harder. Jackie Bradley Jr. does a nice job going back on it just in front of the track.
Our Home Run Leaders Update brought to you by Home Run Sports. Pick up your Rawlings equipment at Home Run Sports. Locations in Mississauga, London, Winnipeg, Calgary, and Edmonton. Home Run Sports, locally owned with over 25 years of experience. So for information on all of your favorite Rawlings products, slide into homerunsports.com. Diano Navarro takes ball 1. Well, interesting to note, this game has not produced a home run. It's produced 7 runs already. The Blue Jays have hit only 2 home runs in the last 6 games, not including tonight. Navarro takes it outside, 2-0. So for the Blue Jays to get back in sync with their offense, they're back home where they've done the lion's share of their work and looking for the long ball.
Well, that's usually how their offense is run, and if they can run into a few, that'll get that offense going in a hurry.
Diano takes ball 3, 3-0.
This team is really built that way, and last year when you look at this Blue Jays offense, they did a lot of things very well. They drew walks, they didn't strike out much, they hit for a good average.
A strike called, 3-1.
And they also hit the long ball, and that's what really drove this team. And this year, it's very different, I think, in 2 regards. 1, they're striking out way more than they did last year. And 2, it seems as though the batting average is not near what it was. And how many times have we talked about that 2-strike approach, 2-strike hitting, finding a way to stay alive?
3-1 pitch, swung on and missed. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And now with that, they go from a conventional alignment to a shift. Now, you don't see that too often.
Very interesting now. Guarding against Navarro, possibly bunting with the shift. But now the third baseman, Travis Shaw, is over there by the second base position with Dustin Pedroia.
Asking Dustin, what do you do now? 3-2 pitch popped up. First base side. Ramirez creeps in from first. And right on the line, he makes the catch. And adjudged in... The umpires are looking at each other at home and first, trying to get a call here. So let's just call it a foul ball. Looked like it was caught just to the right of the chalk line. A big pop-up and a strikeout for Michael Saunders.
Oftentimes what will happen with the shift, too, the way we saw Travis Shaw go over there, the Red Sox left Bogaerts on the left side. He's their shortstop. So if there is a ground ball hit to the right side, they'd rather have their shortstop turning that double play.
Saunders, single on the ground to right. and scored one of 2 Blue Jays runs in the 3rd inning. We're in the 4th. Red Sox lead at 5-2. Saunders a swing and a miss. Pedroia opened the game with a single off Marco Estrada. 2 outs later, Mookie Betts doubled him home. Boston left the bases loaded after that. And then in the 2nd inning, Bradley walked on 4 pitches. A wild pitch moved him in scoring position, and Pedroia singled him home. It was 2-0 after 2. And then the Red Sox knocked starter Marco Estrada out in the 3rd inning. A ball whacked foul down the right field side. 0-2 on Saunders. Estrada, with 1 out, gave up singles to Betts and Ramirez. An error by Upton figured in. After that, Sandy Leon, after the error, single home run, and then that made it 4-0. The error by Upton saw the runner tag and score. That was Mookie Betts. And Estrada was gone after 2 1/3, giving up 4 runs on 6 hits. Swing and a miss. Porcello strikes out Saunders, who looked like he wrenched his back there. And he doesn't look too healthy either. They're kind of slowly walking up the...
Sportsnet 590 The Fan.
First pitch from Danny Barnes to Mookie Betts here in this top of the 5th inning is outside for ball 1. Blue Jays trailing the Red Sox somehow only 5-2 in the opener of this 3-game series as Barnes misses low. Ball 2, 2-0. The Rogers Center audio scoreboard crew had it bang on in between innings here when they played Yakety Sax. 2-0 pitches a strike, 2-1. This has been, Joe Siddall, easily the worst 4 innings of baseball we've seen the Blue Jays play all season.
Well, it comes on the heels of a very rough road trip, especially dropping those games against the Yankees. This is a series that you'd think the Blue Jays were getting excited for. It's a postseason atmosphere here tonight at Rogers Center.
2-1 hit on the ground, foul, wide of third. Brian Butterfield makes the play.
But again, we talk about this game of baseball. It does it to you. This is not a game that the Blue Jays are trying to come out and lay an egg. This is not how it works. They're excited to come out to play this game. They're playing the Boston Red Sox. It's a huge series and really one of their worst performances we've seen this season through 4 innings.
2-2 pitches down and away. It is not what you expect. Everybody thought this was going to be a playoff-style series. We were going to see 2 teams going at it at their best. That is not what we have seen so far, but only so far. Full count pitch popped up, foul, out of play. The Blue Jays are by no means out of this game. Down 5-2 here in the 5th.
Well, that's the best news. Marco Estrada was able to limit them as much as he could, dodge some things in those early innings. Danny Barnes was able to come in. Aaron Loop was able to shut them down. They're still very much so in this ball game.
3-2 pitch it on the ground to third. Donaldson backs up, plays it on a second hop, fires a laser to first. And that's the first time Mookie Betts has been retired, 1 away. 5th innings brought to you by Ford Employee Pricing, ending September 30th. Bringing you up to speed with $12,280 in total price adjustments on the 2016 Lariat Super Crew 4x4. When you pay what Ford employees pay, it's easy to get into a 4. Danny Barnes is the Jays' 3rd pitcher of the night. Marco Estrada started. Gave up 4 runs, 3 earned on 6 hits over 2 1/3, with 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, and a wild pitch. Through 77 pitches, more balls than strikes. First pitch to Hanley Ramirez is inside, ball 1. Estrada also failed to back up home plate on what wound up being an RBI single by Dustin Pedroia in the 2nd inning. 1-0 broken bat, little looper over Barnes, bounces out to Travis. Hanley's not going to bother running this out as Devin throws him out at first. 2 away. We have also seen Melvin Upton Jr. have 3 separate adventures out in left field. And we heard the Bronx cheer here when he fielded a single cleanly in the top of the 4th inning. The Blue Jays have just 3 hits. They all came in the 3rd. The big one, a 2-run single by Devin Travis. But they could not add on with 2 on and nobody out in the 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up. As Travis Shaw takes the first pitch inside, ball 1. When the Red Sox leave, the Tampa Bay Rays come to town. There's a strike call. The Rays are in Monday through Wednesday, September 12th to the 14th. right here at Rogers Center. Remember, Wednesday is a 12:37 p.m. start. 1-1 pitch is high. Go to BlueJays.com for tickets. There are not many left. This is game number 140 this season. 2-1 pitch is a strike right on the outside corner. Beautiful pitch from Barnes. 2-2.
Good location from Barnes right there. Out on that outside corner. It followed the changeup. Good 2-pitch mix against the left-handers.
There's a swing and a fly ball left field. Not deep. Upton coming in. The crowd getting ready to explode. And they do as Melvin makes a two-handed catch of that routine fly. 1-2-3 go the Red Sox.
Favorite Blue Jays at sportsnet.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball. Sportsnet 590. The Fan.
Melvin Upton Jr. leads off here in the bottom of the fifth with the Blue Jays down 5-2 to a tremendous hand as he comes to the plate. And he fouls the first pitch off into the seats. 0-1 pitch is taken for a strike. 0-2. That was a sort of "we still love you" cheer after the crowd has really been giving it to Upton, who's had a terrible day in left field. He's in a hole. 0-2. He swings and he fouls it back.
And the irony of his night is that I think he's been playing a great outfield since he came here in a Blue Jays uniform. He's been very good. He was able to play center field and really go get him in the absence of Kevin Pillar while he spent some time on the disabled list. It's one of those days. It's just coming at an awful time.
0-2 pitch, high, ball one. Upton dropped a sacrifice fly, a high fly ball towards the foul line. He takes ball 2-2. In the third inning, it looked like he lost it just before it came down. He stuck his arms out and then dropped the ball, and that was after earlier in the inning he failed to make a catch on a ball hard to his left, reaching out and just having it tick off his glove. He swings and misses at that pitch and strikes out for the first out here in the fifth inning. And then when Brock Holt hit a ball down the third baseline to lead off the top of the fourth inning, Upton came and got it perfectly and then booted it as he rushed to try to make a throw to get Holt stretching a double. So 3 miscues for Melvin tonight, but only 1 error charged to him. Now Kevin Pillar will stand in, and we'll remind you to tune in after the game for the Acura play of the game. And the first pitch to Kevin is whacked to right field. That's hit deep. Back goes Betts at the track. He reaches up and makes the catch. Pillar hits that one a long way the other way, but it's just allowed out, 2 down. Porcello say something to him?
No, a little history there, I think, between Kevin Pillar and Rick Porcello. It looked like Pillar said something to Porcello. He chuckled and laughed, said something back, and they were both laughing as Kevin continued to run back to that Blue Jays third base dugout.
Here's Devin Travis, the leadoff man, takes a first pitch strike. We'll remind you to watch as Manchester United squares off against Manchester City in the first Manchester Derby. That's Saturday at 7 a.m. Eastern, 4 a.m. Pacific on Sportsnet and Sportsnet Now. Travis with a little number off the glove of a diving Porcello. And Devin is safe with an infield single as Porcello dove for that off to his right and knocked it out of the way of Travis Shaw, who was charging in to try to make the play. Shaw might have had him, but Travis is aboard with his second hit. And here comes Josh Donaldson.
Well, good two-seam fastball by Porcello. We're seeing more and more teams run those fastballs in on the hands of Devin Travis. This one probably off the plate. Travis goes for it, gets jammed, but Porcello tried to take it himself. Probably could have left it for his infielder.
So for Devin Travis, this is his second straight 2-hit game. Third in the last 5. And Josh Donaldson stands in 0 for 2. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it away, 0-1. Donaldson having a rough time lately. And the Blue Jays having a rough time as well. 1-5 to start the month of September. Josh is 0 for his last 14 as he stands in here. Blue Jays are down 5-2. 0-1 pitch is low. Dug out of the dirt by Sandy Leon. 1-1. Five runs on 8 hits and no errors for the Red Sox. 2 runs on 4 hits and 1 error for the Blue Jays. Only 1 error, but they have played a sloppy game. There's a fly ball foul into the seats, well beyond the Red Sox first base dugout. 1-2. First of a 3-game series. Blue Jays trying to snap out of this funk. They have lost 5 of 6 to begin the month of September. Dropped 3 games in the standings to these Boston Red Sox, who now lead the AL East by a game. Jays are just 1 up on Baltimore for that second wild card. 1-2 the count on Donaldson. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Porcello struck him out. Josh is 0 for his last 15. We go to the 6th as the Blue Jays get a hit and nothing more. Jays year of Major League Baseball in Canada, and Brett Cecil comes in out of the Blue Jays bullpen to begin this 6th inning as action continues in the Jays pen. Scott Feldman is up. Blue Jays are down 5-2. Bottom of the Red Sox order starts this 6th inning. It has been a sloppy game played by the Blue Jays in the first, back off a 3-6 road trip, opening up a 6-game homestand here against the Red Sox and Rays. First pitch to Sandy Leon is shot the other way, off the glove of a diving Travis and into right field. A base hit. Leon hit that right off the end of the bat. Travis had to go a long way to even try to knock that one down.
I could hear the bat break from up here in the broadcast booth. Devin was shading the second base bag just a bit. He took a good angle at that ball. He dove for it just off the edge of his glove and into right field.
Leon, the red-hot Red Sox catcher, boosts his batting average up to .355. He is 2 for 3 tonight. And here's Jackie Bradley Jr., who takes the first pitch away for ball 1. Bradley, who always makes me think of SCTV and Martin Short, and Jackie Rogers Jr. and his $100,000 jackpot wad, walked in the second and hit into a double play in the third. 1-0 pitch. Beautiful curveball taken for a strike. 1-1. We haven't seen enough of those from Brett Cecil this year.
Well, Brett's been better, too. Over his last 18 games, he's allowed runs on only 2 occasions, 3 earned runs in 13 innings. And I think this guy right here is going to be the key to this Blue Jays bullpen down the stretch. He has to be the old Brett Cecil.
It would be nice. There's another curveball in for a strike. 1-2 right on the outside corner. Bradley takes it. They seem to have settled on Joaquin Benoit to Jason Grilli to Roberto Osuna in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, but having an effective Brett Cecil would be so important. 1-2 curveball, fouled away. Third base side, Bradley barely stays alive. The ball goes rolling right out to third base umpire Jim Joyce, who's looking for someone to throw it to not in the stands. Joyce could have made a fan or two there. Cecil comes set. Doesn't look at the runner. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball swung on and missed. He struck him out. Bradley goes down swinging, and now it's another lefty in Brock Holt. And we'll take a look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. The Detroit Tigers have a 3-0 lead on the Baltimore Orioles. J.D. Martinez has added a 2-run single to Eric Ibar's RBI double. And it's Michael Fulmer, the rookie, throwing the 2-hitter through 5. There's a first pitch strike to Brock Holt with a fastball. The Tigers, with a win, would catch the Orioles for the second wild card spot in the American League. The Yankees loom just a game behind Detroit, and Houston a game and a half back. 0-1 pitch to Holt, fastball away, 1-1. The Yankees in a rain delay that saw the tarp come out and then come off 7 minutes later. They're just about to restart. Yankees leading Tampa Bay 3-2 in the bottom of the 4th. 1-1 pitch is there. A fastball strike. 1-2. Gary Sanchez is homered again. Give him 12. Logan Morrison and Steven Souza Jr. have gone deep for the Rays. Twins lead the Indians 2-0 in the bottom of the second. Brian Dozier, that's just an RBI double. Swing and a miss by Holt on a curveball. Back-to-back strikeouts of back-to-back left-handed hitters by Brett Cecil. And that's going to be it for him.
It's remarkable when you look at these AL East standings. 4 teams within 4 games, and all of the rest of baseball, there's not a division where a second-place team is within 4 games.
It is amazing, isn't it? The Tigers are the closest in the American League, 6 back of the Indians, and the Giants are 5 back of the Dodgers in the NL West. It's no walks and 5 strikeouts. That ERA, Joe, all the way up to 189.
Skyrocketed, didn't it?
Crazy. Also, the Brewers lead the Cardinals 3-0. That's in the top of the third. St. Louis a half game back of the Mets for that top wild card in the National League. For the second wild card behind San Francisco Giants. Ready to go. Here's Pedroia against Feldman, and the first pitch is up and in for ball 1. It's a 5-2 Red Sox lead over the Blue Jays. It should be a lot worse. But the Jays have kept themselves in this game. And they'd like to keep the deficit at 3 runs right here. The 1-0 pitch popped up. On the infield, Tulowitzki comes over towards the bag. Travis calls him off and makes the catch. And the inning is over. So the leadoff single is stranded, and we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Blue Jays 3-4-5 coming up. They trail the Red Sox 5-2. You're listening to Home Hardware Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sportsnet 590, The Fan.
First pitch here at the bottom of the 6th is up to Edwin Encarnacion. Ball 1. Blue Jays down 5-2 to the Red Sox. There's a swing and a miss on a breaking ball. First of a 3-game series that whoever wins will wind up in first place. If the Blue Jays take 2 out of 3, it would be a tie. 1-1 curveball just catches the top of the zone for strike 2. Edwin does not like that call as he backs out. Encarnacion is 0 for 2 flat out, hit into a double play. Swings and fouls that ball off his foot. Still 1-2. Fans, submit your questions via Twitter using the hashtag HHExperts and have them answered in the game by our team of experts here in the booth, otherwise known as Joe Siddle. Brought to you by Home Hardware. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice. 1-2 curveball. The Edwin is whacked foul into the seats left field side. Still 1-2.
When Porcello misses with a curveball like that on the inner part of the plate, it's actually in almost off the plate. There's no way for Edwin to keep that fair, so it's a bad pitch by Porcello, but he gets away with it.
1-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Strike 3. Edwin goes down. 7th strikeout of the night for the Blue Jays against Rick Porcello, who is bidding to become Major League Baseball's first 20-game winner this season.
And the point I was getting to with that curveball, it's a good miss, and that's probably why Porcello's been so good all season long, really avoiding the middle of the plate a lot.
First pitch to Jose Bautista's on the outside corner, called a strike 0-1. Edwin can't keep that fair, like you said, but he can't let that go either because it's too close. Don't want to get rung up. There's a little looper on a broken bat. Pedroia fields, fire to first, not in time. Dustin Pedroia winds up on his stomach in shallow left center field. I can't believe he got to that ball. But Jose Bautista beats it out for a 1-out single.
Well, if anybody wants to teach their kids how to play baseball, just come out and watch Dustin Pedroia. The way he goes about his business with the glove on defense, you're right, there's no business for him to get to this ball, let alone make an off-balance throw on the mark and make it even close at first base. This guy is something else.
Really is an amazing play by Dustin Pedroia. Bautista beats it easily, but most second basemen in the league, A, don't even get there, and 2, would never bother making a throw.
And then on the offensive side, he's so much fun to watch because I like to say he's a hacker because he does not get cheated, but he's very good at it.
He really is, and takes his share of walks as well. Now here's Troy Tulowitzki, who took Porcello to the warning track in right center last time up. Fastball up for ball one. Joaquin Benoit is throwing in the Blue Jays bullpen. We have known him to just get up every once in a while for kicks, but going into the 7th inning, he's probably warming up with a purpose. In case the Blue Jays get this thing closer. There's a pitch in the dirt. Ball 2, 2-0. I think it's reasonable to leave Feldman in if you're down 3, but if you're down 1 or 2, maybe you switch it up.
You would think you want to get these guys work as well, and it's been that kind of run, especially after the off day. But the other side, the flip side of that is you also want to save these guys. This is a big weekend. You want to save the Joaquin Benoits and the Grillies and Osunas for tomorrow and for Sunday.
2-0 pitch, whacked into left field, a base hit. Up to second goes Bautista, and the Blue Jays have 2 on for Dioner Navarro. Nothing doing in the Red Sox bullpen. Porcello has thrown just 88 pitches.
Another very hard hit ball by Tulowitzki. His last time up, he drilled one to center field, sent Jackie Bradley Jr. back to the track. Troy had a couple hard hit balls on Wednesday at New York, a couple of doubles on a 2-for-4 effort.
Remind you that you can join the big leagues with Blue Jays Acura Luxury Suites, a business meeting, and a baseball game. Contact Blue Jays account executives to find the package that best suits your needs at 416-341-1635 or bluejays.com/luxury suites. Curveball on the first pitch from Porcello that catches the bottom of the zone. Navarro takes a strike 0-1. Russell Martin out with a knee injury. Hurts. It bites on him when he swings the bat. 0-1 is low. We don't know about Russ's availability. And maybe you can explain a little, Joe. How's it possible that he can catch and throw a guy out trying to steal on Wednesday, but he can't swing the bat?
It was crazy. It was his front leg, which is front knee, as a right-handed batter. And it's almost like he was just over-swinging, really. That's what it looked like, where it kind of tweaked him like that. But very difficult to throw into that front side.
1-1 pitch swung on and missed, 1-2.
It does not make a whole lot of sense to me. When I saw him come back out to catch, that was one thing, but then he came up, made a great throw. When you throw a baseball from behind the plate, you're loading up on the backside, but you're transferring that weight into the front side. So maybe it was more so the twisting action when he was hitting that got him, but I think John Gibbons will be very careful with this with Dioner Navarro now at his disposal.
1-2 pitch to Navarro. It swung on and popped up on the infield fly rule in effect, and some sort of obstruction has been called. Obstruction has been called on Troy Tulowitzki, preventing Hanley Ramirez from making that catch. And Tulo is arguing with the first base umpire, James Hoy. Ramirez made the catch, but Tulo got in his way. So what happens here is the play is dead, and Tulowitzki and Navarro basically just switch places. Tulowitzki's out, and Navarro is aboard.
And that's exactly what Hoy was explaining to Tulowitzki, but I think Tulowitzki, in reading his lips, he's almost saying, I understand what you're saying, but I'm trying to get out of the way here. It's just that when Hanley went for that baseball, he ran right into Troy as he was going back to the first base bag.
The craziness is that Tulowitzki is called for obstructing the fielder who winds up making the catch anyway.
That's what the part I'm not. I thought maybe you call obstruction, but then if you get the out.
Right, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, but obviously by rule, the runner is out and the batter is awarded first base.
And now Michael Saunders comes up. Saunders takes a first pitch strike. So the Blue Jays have first and second. Jose Bautista is not allowed to advance. First and second, Navarro at first, Bautista at second. 2 out, and Michael Saunders at the plate. 0-1 pitch is swung on and missed. 0-2.
So this goes in the category just when you think you've seen everything in baseball.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
I am not sure I've ever seen that where obstruction is called, but then the fielder goes on to make the catch. My understanding would have been that the obstruction is kind of waved off, but there you go. I learn a new rule every day.
There you go. The beauty of this baseball game. Saunders in an 0-2 hole here. He's the tying run. He swings and he lifts it foul behind the Blue Jays third base dugout, and now Sandy Leon's going to take the new baseball right out to Rick Porcello. Mike Wilner, Joe Siddle, Jerry Howarth here with you as the Blue Jays begin their penultimate homestand of the regular season. This, of course, is the penultimate series of the penultimate homestand. Our engineer, the lovely and talented Tom Young, producer as well. 0-2 to Saunders is up, ball one. And back at our flagship station, Sportsnet 590, The Fan, Tom Rominski and Sutton Sam McKee helping us get on the air. First of a 3-game series with the Red Sox. Next one's tomorrow. We're on at 12:30 Eastern for a 105 first pitch. Jay Happ and Eduardo Rodriguez. Runners take their leads, the 1-2. It's high, ball 2, 2-2. This sellout crowd is ready to erupt.
Did you see the home run the other day with the balk call?
I heard about it, but I didn't see it.
The balk was called. The hitter swings and hits a home run. Remember, when you hear balk as a hitter, you swing the bat. Nothing bad can happen.
Yeah. If the pitcher continues to deliver, whatever happens counts if you want it to count. And I sort of thought the same thing might happen here. Porcello set. The 2-2 is popped up. Shallow left center. In comes Holt. Out goes Bogaerts. Over comes Bradley. And Brock Holt, with trouble, makes that catch to end the inning. So the Blue Jays strand a pair in another weird half inning of baseball.
And 6, Scott Feldman, who came on last inning, will face Xander Bogaerts, David Ortiz, and Mookie Betts. Bogaerts, slender right-handed hitter, 1 for 3, a base hit the left his last time up. He takes it inside, ball 1. Marco Estrada really is the story of this game. He went just 2 1/3 innings, threw 77 pitches, 39 balls, 38 strikes, gave up 4 runs, 3 earned on 6 hits. Walked 3, struck out a couple, had a wild pitch. A strike on the outside corner. That's probably what smarts the most about this game.
Well, it is. It was obviously a rough start. This is a much anticipated game here, too, with Rick Porcello going for the Red Sox, going for win number 20 against Estrada. They needed that classic Marco Estrada performance, but just did not get it tonight.
And the 1-1 pitch belted the left field down the line. It's got some hook to it. It's heading for the yellow foul pole. It is hooking. It is dropping. It is gone. A home run for Xander Bogaerts. That's his 18th, and the Red Sox go out in front 6-2 here to start this 7th inning. Boston, 6 runs. That's 770 runs they have scored this year.
I couldn't believe that Xander Bogaerts was able to keep this ball fair as a fastball from Scott Feldman in off the plate, but Bogaerts pulled his hands inside, and when you do that, the ball does not hook as much as opposed to when your hands come out around and come around the baseball. The ball stayed on a straight line, tucked it just inside the pole.
The batter, David Ortiz. Now, Ortiz is used to hitting home runs. He has 60 in his career against the Blue Jays. That's the most all time. He takes a strike on the inside corner. For Bogaerts, he's only 23. He's from Aruba. And the Red Sox knew what they were doing back in 2009 when they drafted him as a teenager.
What a great player he's turning out to be, and he's only 23.
Shift on for Big Papi. Strike 1, pitch is outside. Bogaerts just circled the bases there. We saw that red number 2 on his shirt. He wears that in honor of Derek Jeter. What a nice tribute.
Well, it certainly is, and I'm sure there's other players doing the same thing coming up through the minors that were able to watch Jeter.
Ortiz, who's 0 for 3, takes the ball 2-1.
Bogaerts has an unbelievable knack of staying inside the baseball, and that's what he did with that pitch. That's a ball in off the plate. There's not many hitters that keep that ball fair, but because he pulled his hands in so quickly to stay inside that baseball, it stays fairly straight without much hook to it.
6-7 Feldman kicks and lets her fly. A strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Devin Travis out in right field, shallow right field. Tulowitzki's playing second with Donaldson at short on the shift. Mookie Betts on deck. An RBI double and a single and run scored. Ortiz lines one up the gap into right center field. That's a base hit. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Pilar takes the carom. He throws it back to the infield, and Big Papi lumbers into second with a 2-base hit. And Ortiz's season just continues. Memory after memory. That's his 45th double.
Right fielder number 50, Mookie Betts.
Well, that's where, as a pitcher, if you're Scott Feldman, you're just thankful this ball stayed in the ballpark. This ball right out over the plate, about thigh high. Ortiz just ripped it into the gap.
So now we go from the 40-year-old to the 23-year-old. Betts with his RBI double, 101 runs batted in. Ortiz is standing at second with 107 RBIs. 31 home runs for Ortiz, 30 for Betts. Six runs on 11 hits. Pitch on the way, a strike on the outside corner. Play the VTech bottom of the ninth trivia challenge. That's for your chance to win weekly VTech prize packs, plus that grand prize, a family trip for 4 to next year's spring training in Dunedin. So enter now and play on your smartphone, tablet, or online at VTechTrivia.com for your chance to win. Feldman misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. It's interesting to note 2 things here about the Blue Jays and the Red Sox, and it goes back to last year when the Blue Jays led the major leagues in runs scored, and by plenty. The pitch is in there for a strike. Last year, the Blue Jays hit .286 that led the major leagues in hitting with runners in scoring position. This year, who leads the National and American Leagues in runs scored? The Boston Red Sox. What are they hitting with runners in scoring position? .288. Right there with the Blue Jays. It's exactly the same scenario. 1-2 pitch bounced to the plate. Each of those teams had David Price in August and September. This is the team to beat right here, especially with that .288 mark that the Blue Jays enjoyed leading Major League Baseball last year, hitting with runners in scoring position. What are the Blue Jays hitting in that category this year? .255.
Much different this year, but this Red Sox offense reminds me a lot of the Blue Jays offense from last season. They do so many things well. They don't quite hit the home runs like the Blue Jays did last season.
Feldman's outside.
But they can beat you in so many ways. Certainly they run a little bit better, too. They will steal the bases. This is just a very well-balanced team. The pitching has been the issue for the Red Sox throughout the course of this season. But has this starting rotation ever come around? And it's been led by David Price, 6-0. ERA just over 2 in his last 6. And then, of course, we're seeing a potential 20-game winner on the mound tonight in Porcello.
3-2 pitch gone to the right side. Fumbled by Devin Travis. He has no play. And the beat goes on tonight. An error for Travis. Red Sox at first and third. And Devin here of late has had his moments defensively. That's his 11th error. And most of them have come over the last month.
Talked to Luis Rivera today, the infield coach. He was out here early with Devin just to work on some ground balls, get his work in so that he does not have to do it during the batting practice rounds. And no real panic. He just said he's going over some things with him, talking about his feet, getting in good position, all those little things. But that right there is about as routine as they come. And there's really no explanation for it. You cannot tell me how a big leaguer misses that. And Devin Travis would be the first one to admit the same.
So first and third occupied. Nobody out. A leadoff home run here in the 7th by Xander Bogaerts, his 18th. Boston leads at 6-2. They've out-hit the Blue Jays 11-6. Here is Hanley Ramirez. He's 1 for 2. Singled and scored back in the 2-run third. So the infield drawn in about halfway. Ryan Tepera warming up for the Blue Jays in their pen in left center. Feldman set. There goes the runner. The pitch, a swing and a miss. There's no throw by Navarro. And Betts steals his 22nd in 25 tries. And that's how you help stay out of a double play at the same time.
Well, they'll just keep coming at you, and that's the thing. When you give them those extra opportunities, of course, the Blue Jays in no position right now to be giving extra opportunities. Down 4, Betts takes full advantage, stealing second base easily.
0-1 on Ramirez. Betts 5th in John Farrell's lineup. So Ortiz at third, Betts at second, nobody out. The pitch driven to center field deep. Long run, Kevin Pillar still going, sprinting to the wall, pulls up, and it's gone. A 3-run home run to right center field for Hanley Ramirez. And the Boston Red Sox go out in front 9-2 as Hanley hits his 22nd.
Well, it's just a fastball out over the plate from Scott Feldman, and that is going to bring a long, slow walk by manager John Gibbons. You just cannot make mistakes like this to these hitters, and we've been seeing it all night. This offense is just way too potent for that.
So Feldman, as a Blue Jay, came into this game here his 12th, and in 13 innings he had allowed 20 hits. This is the first home run he has allowed, and then he'll pick up Brett Cecil in those 2 strikeouts. Shaw takes it high, ball 1, but here in this inning, 4 runs in, 3 of them earned, 1 unearned, as Betts scores on the home run by Ramirez. He reached on the Travis error at second base. Shaw has walked, driven in a run with a sacrifice fly, and flied out. Swing and a miss, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, Tepera has worked in 11 games this year, and since his recall, he's pitched in a couple of games, just an inning and a third. He's given up a hit, was a home run. He's walked 1 and struck out 3. He pitched on Saturday down in St. Pete against the Rays, a scoreless 1/3 of an inning.
His next pitch, that's in for a strike, 1-2. Marco Estrada, 2 1/3 innings, gave up 4 runs, 3 earned on 6 hits, threw more balls than strikes over 77 pitches. Luke, Barnes, Cecil, Feldman, and out Tepera. 5 relievers. 1-2 pitches outside. And thus the value of a well-pitched game by a starter. It's tough on the bullpen.
Well, it's tough on the bullpen, and what you're seeing on the other side, Rick Porcello, we were beginning to talk about the Red Sox rotation and how it's really come around to support this offense.
Shaw takes low, 3-2.
Porcello's been the steadiest starter really all season long for John Farrell. Price certainly becoming David Price again down the stretch. Blue Jays fans know what that's all about. Clay Buchholz, who we'll see here Sunday, he's been pitching very well. An ERA just over 3 in his last 3 ball games.
3-2 pitch line to center field. That's a base hit. Pilar over to cut it off on 2 hops. He throws it back to the infield, and Shaw continues the inning. That's the 4th hit in the inning. 5 have reached. Still nobody out. Hanley Ramirez here with 2 men on. Just hit a 3-run home run. We were talking about the Red Sox leading the major leagues, hitting .288 with runners in scoring position. In the American League, Mookie Betts is 2nd in the league, 71 RBIs with runners in scoring position, 71. Ramirez came in with 69. Give him 3. He has 72. He just passed Betts. There's a swing and a foul back, because Betts' double was with Pedroia at first base in the first inning, not a runner in scoring position. So you've got Ramirez, 72 runs batted in. He came in 4th in the American League in RBIs with runners in scoring position. Then Betts with 71. David Ortiz had 65 RBIs in that category, and Xander Bogaerts 60.
Run-producing machines is what they are.
That's what it is. Anybody in this lineup with runners in scoring position, lethal with the bats. And that .288 average would tell you that. A strike called. What's interesting is that the Red Sox overall average is .286, and they hit better with runners in scoring position. That's unheard of.
That's unbelievable is what it is. That's the result of some very good approaches. You have to look at the hitting coach, Chili Davis, a good veteran, and I'm sure he's got a philosophy, how he likes to attack pitchers in those situations.
Sandy Leon, the catcher up here, fouls one back. It's 0-2 on him.
Sometimes that philosophy may be to look early in the count, look for the fastball early. Other times it may be sitting on a particular pitch. The situation changes all the time, and most good hitters will tell you that. I remember talking to Josh Donaldson in spring training. I asked him basically what his philosophy of hitting was. He says, well, it changes all the time based on the situation, the pitcher, what you think he may be trying to do to you.
It's a pair of deals. Leon hits a high pop-up on the infield. Travis, the second baseman, goes out on the turf, and he makes the catch. That's the first out here. The Boston 4-run 7th.
Center fielder number 25, Jackie Bradley Jr.
Leon with a couple of base hits. He single homer run with a drive to right field back in the 2-run 3rd inning. Now the batter, Jackie Bradley Jr. He is the only member of the Red Sox without a hit to this point. He has walked and scored, hit into a double play, and struck out. Tepera's pitch line to right field. This is going to be his hit. It bounces off the wall, Base hit taken by Saunders. He throws it back to the infield. A double for Bradley to complete the hitting cycle for Boston as Shaw comes to third. 14 hits for Boston, leading at 9-2.
Well, that's that little cutter from Ryan Tepera. He hits the fastball up around 95, 96 miles per hour, but he's also got that little cutter, and it was down and in on Jackie Bradley Jr., and he barreled it up, just dropped the bat head on it, smoked this ball into the right field corner.
The eighth man to bat here is Brock Holt. He has struck out twice, but doubled and scored back in the fourth inning. The Red Sox have a couple of sacrifice flies. Shaw back in the third, Pedroia in the fourth. So Holt up here against the right-hander Tepera, infield drawn in. Fastball outside, ball one. Ryan looks in, reading Deanna Navarro. Takes a long time. And now time is called by the plate umpire, Chad Fairchild. Infield in, as we mentioned. Shaw at third, Bradley at second. They take their leads. And the 1-0 pitch. Foul back over the screen it goes. 1 ball and 1 strike. What's interesting about this season compared to last year, in August and September last year, the Blue Jays ran the table, 43-18, best record in baseball. Now, over their last 29 games here over these last 2 months, the last 29 games, they're 14-15, a game under the 500 mark. There's a swing and a ground ball to first, glove by Edwin, steps on the bag for the out, holds the runners, 2 down. And the Blue Jays, down 9-2 here, are in jeopardy over the last 30 games of going 14-16, and that's the slide with the lack of hitting with runners in scoring position and the home run drought, only 2 in the last 6 games, none tonight, that the Blue Jays are facing head on to both try to get into the division lead, but stay in the playoff race.
Stay in the playoff race, and it's exactly that. It's been a slide, and that's what happens when teams start struggling. The pitching kind of goes by the wayside. They're not swinging the bats. And really, that's what a slump does. When teams go on winning streaks, and this team is very capable of getting on a tear here, whether they win 10 of the next 12 or whatever, but we know that they're always capable of doing that because they do have the pitching to do it. We've seen it. They have the offense to do it. We've seen that. It's just that it's been so much more inconsistent, I think, this season than what we saw last year. So the Blue Jays need to hope that a lot of these players get back to doing what they do best. And right now, hope's not a great strategy, but that's your only plan.
No, it is not. Pedroia makes it a bat-around inning. Pitch to Dustin. Inside, ball one. And one of the keys, too, the MVP from a year ago, who's 0 for 3 tonight with 2 strikeouts, 1 for his last 19.
And we remember the month of August last year, he and Trout were going head-to-head. The Blue Jays went out to L.A. Mike Trout had an awful month, and that's when Donaldson just took off. Well, he's going to need to take off again for his club.
Fastball for a strike, 1-1. So the Blue Jays begin a homestand here, and it's been a tough fight here this evening. Couple of errors, couple of mental mistakes, couple of plays not made, and out hit 14-6, held to just 2 runs. 2 outs. Tepera's 1-1 pitch, grounded up the middle, base hit center field. It's going to bring home 1. Here comes Bradley. Pillar's throw to the plate. The slide, there's no tag. A 2-run single to center by Pedroia, who has driven in 4 tonight, and Boston leads it 11-2. And guess what? Another hit with runners in scoring position, and this even bigger with 2 outs.
Now this time it's Dustin Pedroia, and again you get into a decent hitter's count. It's 1-1, but this looked like a fastball inside trying to get in on the hands of Pedroia. But what does he do? Much like we talked about Xander Bogaerts on the home run earlier, pulls the hands inside, gets the barrel to the baseball, and hit this ball very hard back up the middle.
Xander Bogaerts, the batter. He started this inning with a home run to left field off Scott Feldman, his 18th. He looks it over, a strike on the outside corner. 18 home runs, 80 runs batted in. And remember, this is a young Boston team. They have their veterans, no question about it. Bogaerts 23, Mookie Betts 23. Travis Shaw, 26. There's a ground ball up the middle. Taken it short by Tulowitzki. The throw to first, the stretch by Edwin, just in time to get Bogaerts. And the inning is over. A bat-around inning. 10 men come to the plate, 6 score. Jet.com/getgold to learn more. 11-2 Boston, bottom of the 7th inning. Melvin Upton takes strike 1 from tall right-hander Rick Porcello. The pitch is outside. You now like Rick Porcello's chances to become Boston's first 20-game winner since 2007. 9 years ago when Josh Beckett went 20-7. Upton with a strike. Called. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, we've seen potential 20-game winner right here. We may see it here tonight with Rick Porcello. And he's been very good again. And this is what he's been doing all season long, though. Very consistent each and every start.
Upton fouls one off.
Mixing all 4 pitches. We've seen him use both the slider and the curveball as breaking pitches. But for me, I think he's used the 2-seam fastball and the 4-seam fastball very effectively to both sides of the plate, and he's elevated it. And I think that's been the difference. Tough pitch to get to.
Upton has walked and struck out. The 1-2 pitch fouled off to the right-hand side. For Rick Porcello, he comes into this inning with 7 strikeouts and the 1 walk to Upton. This year, he now has 161 strikeouts, 29 walks. He's averaging 5.5 strikeouts for every walk. 1-2 pitch is high.
It's a remarkable strikeout to walk ratio, and that's about being aggressive in the zone. He is going after you. As hitters, you know that, but we've looked at some of the approaches here from the Blue Jays tonight, and he's really kept them off balance with those 4 pitches.
He's back 2-2, a swing and a foul back. For Rick Porcello, who's still just 27, with 104 wins in his big league career among active pitchers. Most wins before turning 28. Clayton Kershaw, 114. The King, Felix Hernandez, 112. CC Sabathia, 109. And Porcello at 104. Madison Bumgarner's at 99. The pitch is low. That's what Porcello's done. And all that before turning 28. Same with those others.
Well, great experience early on as a 20-year-old pitching in the big leagues for the Detroit Tigers, gaining an awful lot of experience pitching in the postseason for Detroit.
The 2 pitch grounded to third, taken by Shaw. Travis with a strong throw to first, a little high. Ramirez takes it. 1 down.
Center fielder number 11, Kevin Pillar.
We mentioned our look aheads brought to you by WestJet. Well, looking ahead to this homestand, it finishes with a day game Wednesday against Tampa Bay. It's a 12:37 start. And then that night starts the Blue Jays Roberto Alomar annual Tournament 12. It'll be here from September 14th right on through the 19th. A strike call to Kevin. So come on out and see the future of Canadian baseball. Visit BlueJays.com/T12 for more information. Saw Roberto before the game tonight. He's looking forward to that next Wednesday and the week that goes with it. A swing and a miss, no balls and 2 strikes. And this has to be a tough game for someone like Roberto to watch as well when he's up in the front office taking this one in. 11-2 Boston.
Has to be difficult for all of the Blue Jays, all the players, coaches, executives, everybody, especially at this critical time of the season. But most players know that this is just what happens in this game. They got to put it behind them and come back fresh tomorrow. But they've been saying that now for a little while.
Well, our grounds 1 weekly to short. Bogaerts with a good strong throw to first. 2 down. Kevin now 1 for 3 with a single to right.
Second baseman number 29, Devin Travis.
Speaking of tomorrow, we are on the air at 12:30 with our full pregame show. 107 first pitch. Jay Happ, 17-4, still stuck on 17. Would love to get that 18th out of the way and do it tomorrow. Eduardo Rodriguez, fresh off a near no-hitter, he's 2-6, his ERA 4.83. They match up tomorrow. Devin Travis takes strike 1. Sunday afternoon, same times, and at 1:07, Clay Buchholz filling in for the injured Stephen Wright, and he's been admirable doing it against Aaron Sanchez, 13-2.
Clay Buchholz has had a lot of success here at Rogers Center in his career. I'm sure that factored into their decision as well. Going against Aaron Sanchez, that should be a dandy.
The pitch is outside. And we just mentioned Stephen Wright, and the Red Sox don't have their 13-game winner. 24 starts, 13-6, ERA 3.33 on the DL with a sore right shoulder. And Buchholz has come out of the bullpen where he was demoted, and now he's been the shining light as one of the starters. The pitch is outside. 2-1. That's how deep the Red Sox are.
And isn't this game crazy? I remember earlier in the season, there was talk of the Red Sox unloading Clay Buchholz, trying to get rid of him somewhere. His ERA was around 6, I think, and now he's really turned it around.
Devin hits a one-hopper back to the mound. Taken by Porcello. He tosses to first. The inning is over. It's all Boston as we go to the 8th inning. Red Sox 11, Blue Jays 2. 8th inning, Red Sox 11, Blue Jays 2. Boston just batted around and scored 6 runs on 6 hits in the 7th. Ortiz grounds one up the middle by a diving Josh Donaldson, who is playing shortstop. And Ortiz collects his second hit. He doubled and scored one of those 6 runs last inning.
Right fielder number 50, Mookie Betts.
Sure enough, here comes a pinch runner out of John Farrell's dugout there at first base. So coming on to run here for the Red Sox, Yoan Moncada. Moncada, just a rookie getting started, and the Heat takes over for Big Papi and Ortiz, who was honored before the game. Now gets high fives all around that Boston first base dugout as he goes from one end to the other with that huge megawatt smile. Mookie Betts up. He takes strike one call. Moncada not being held on at first base. Betts with an RBI double, a single and run scored, reached on an error and grounded out. There's a strike called to him. No balls and 2 strikes. As the Blue Jays will get the left-hander Matt Dermody up and working. And John Gibbons trying to do whatever he can to stave off the big 3 and get them ready for tomorrow. Benoit, Grilli, and Osuna. Ground ball to short, circling in. Tulo go to second. One. Travis back to first, not in time. Betts is pretty quick. He avoids the double play. 1 down.
Well, it's a good night to get a lot of pitchers some work. Ryan Tepera here, Scott Feldman. They use Cecil Barnes and Loop, and then Matt Dermody looks like he'll be next. But that's what the September call-ups are for. Certainly to use in games like this, and that way you do not have to use your main arms.
The World Cup of Hockey pre-tournament continues as the U.S. and Canada face off for the 2nd straight night, live from Ottawa. That's tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Sportsnet. 1 out here in the 8th inning. Boston leading at 11-2, out hitting the Blue Jays 16-6. Hanley Ramirez up, and now being lifted here for Devin Marrero, pinch hitter. Marrero takes ball 1. Ramirez, in his last at-bat, a 3-run home run to right center field to make it 9-2. And that's a pretty good home run to say, if you're John Farrell, go relax the rest of the night. Marrero swings and misses the ball, gets away from Navarro, and up to second base goes Mookie Betts. We've seen Deonner head to the backstop a few times here tonight on pitches.
Well, another pass ball off the glove of Navarro. We saw a wild pitch earlier on a curveball in the dirt from Estrada that should have been blocked. Just unable to come up with this ball cleanly, but it's been one of those nights. I hate to keep saying that because it almost like it's making excuses for players, but I know as a player that these nights do happen, and I've been behind the plate. They do happen. You're certainly not happy about it, and you want to turn over a new leaf here tomorrow.
Marrero, a half swing goes around. So they count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Jason Grilli yesterday said you can have a fresh start any moment you choose. Failure is not falling down, it's staying down. And this is going to be a test toward that regarding tomorrow, and Jay Happ trying to make sure that the Blue Jays do not stay down. The 1-2 pitch is outside. It's one thing to have Boston score 11 runs on 16 hits, but when Marco Estrada goes 2 1/3 innings and throws 77 pitches, more balls than strikes, and the defense has committed 2 errors and plays not made, it's just one of those nights you want to quickly forget.
Yeah, and it will be up to Jay Happ, because I always believe it starts on the mound. If your starting pitcher can give you a good start to give your team a chance to win.
The right-hand hitting Marrero takes outside.
And unfortunately, when you get in these little slides like the Blue Jays are on right now, and then you get a big series like this, and this happens in game 1, the pressure mounts for the starting pitcher tomorrow, so heavy load on Jay Happ's shoulders.
Tepera ready with 1 out, runner at second. The 3-2 pitch. Low ball 4, Tepera with a walk. That's going to bring up Shaw, but now Shaw's going to go back to the first base dugout because here comes John Gibbons, and he's going to go to his left-hander now, Matt Dermody. Ryan Tepera kicks some dirt there out at the mound, and the left-hander, Dermody, will come on from the Blue Jays bullpen in left center field. So the rookie Matt Dermody comes on. He's been an A-ball, AA, and AAA over 47 games, earning his promotion here to the Blue Jays. And Dermody will work with 2 men on, 1 out. He's got the left-handed hitting Travis Shaw at the plate. Boston leading at 11-2 here with 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. Matt checks his runners. The tall, lanky lefty delivers. A slider swung on and missed. Strike 1. Dermody wears number 50. Oh, that number was worn by the Terminator, Tom Henke. A big part of the '92 World Series victory. The strike 1 pitch. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, Dermody came in and gave up a couple of hits in Tampa in his debut, but he was able to get out of that scoreless inning thanks to Ryan Tepera coming in and leaving those runners on. Fastball will be around 90, 91, 92. We've seen him touch. Slider and changeup. 3 pitches from the lefty.
There's a ground ball down to first, backhanded by Edwin. Go to second, 1. Tulowitzki back to Dermody, and he drops the throw. Looked like he might have had the double play there. The throw handcuffed him a little bit right there in the midsection. And so Boston ends up with runners at first and third, 2 down, and a very close bid there for a double play.
Well, it's such a tricky play. When the ground ball is hit to the first baseman, Edwin's making the throw to second. Tulo's relaying it, but it's the pitcher that has to get over there. Now you have a pitcher running over towards that first base bag, trying to catch that throw on the run while he's trying to find the bag. Did a good job to get there, and everything was right. He just didn't catch the baseball.
And with those left-handers, it's tough with their follow-through to get over to first base. Not that it can't be done, but it's just that natural follow-through to the third base side. Sandy Leon up. The switch-hitting catcher takes outside, ball 1. Leon has grounded out, singled home a run, singled to right, and popped up. So he's, again, one of the many contributors here tonight of an 11-run, 16-hit attack, leading by 9. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike at 92. So the runners lead. And the 1-1 pitch. Hit foul off to the right-hand side. So that goes back out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Betts at third, Shaw at first. On deck, Jackie Bradley. And the 1-2 pitch. High, ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Red Sox, remember, coming from the West Coast, they took 2 out of 3 in Oakland and San Diego. They're 4-2 on this extended road trip. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And the ball rolls to the third base dugout. So the inning is over. Hit him on the leg. Ball hit him on the leg. Swung and missed. Throw the strike at.
Break down every part of the game with in-depth analysis on SportsNet590.ca. Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
MLB.TV Premium is the #1 live streaming sports service delivering everything you've come to expect. So watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Josh Donaldson bats here in the bottom of the 8th inning against reliever Brad Ziegler, who comes on. Boston leads at 11-2. A number of defensive changes as well. We'll get to those in just a moment. Josh 0 for 3. Last couple times up a strikeout. A fly ball hit the right field. Mookie Betts is there. He makes the catch. 1 down, and for Josh, it's been a real struggle here. Now 1 for his last 20. Former Blue Jay Aaron Hill comes on to finish it up at third base. Third baseman Travis Shaw shifts over to first. Hanley Ramirez lifted for pinch runner Devin Marrero. And Marrero stays in to play second base. Edwin up. Grounds one foul, third base side, strike one.
Well, Ziegler's made 9 consecutive scoreless appearances over 8 1/3 innings since back on August 13th. Had a little bout of the flu. He's made his first appearance in San Diego the other night.
Pitches inside. And how about Rick Porcello bidding to become Major League Baseball's first 20-game winner? You like his chances. 7 strong innings tonight. Breaking ball line to short, over the head of a leaping Xander Bogaerts, a base hit. Taken on a couple of hops by Holt. Brock throws it back to the infield. Edwin with his first hit tonight. Porcello goes 7, charged with 2 runs on 6 hits. Struck out 7 to give him 161 strikeouts this year. 1 walk, 29 walks. And he's looking to go 20-3.
Just 1 walk and 7 strikeouts, and those numbers really stick out again. He was just excellent with that 2-seam fastball, elevated the 4-seamer.
Edwin at first base. Jose up, takes ball 1.
And I thought he pitched very effectively inside the Blue Jays hitters again tonight, and I keep saying that because I think that's one thing I've seen this year, maybe as opposed to last year. Blue Jays getting pounded in more with the fastball.
Jose DHing, takes inside 2-0. Bautista has struck out. Been hit by a pitch and single on the ground up the middle. Dustin Pedroia from shallow center field made a play on him, but Jose was able to leg it out for the hit. Blue Jays have been out hit 16-7, trail 11-2. Jose takes a sharp breaking ball for a strike, 2-1. Troy Tulowitzki is on deck. Ziegler ready. Here he comes, a swing and a foul back. He submarines that ball to the plate pretty good.
Well, brings it down under, makes it tough on right-handed hitters to really stay in there, and that's what you have to do. Easier said than done because he's also got that little slider as well.
Infield looking for the double play ground ball. Edwin the lead. Not held on. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Jose caught licking outside corner. 2 down.
And the shortstop, number 2, Troy Tulowitzki.
Well, tonight you look at what Porcello and now Ziegler have done to Donaldson, Encarnacion, and Bautista, and they've held that trio to just 2 base hits, an infield hit by Jose, and the base hit to left here just over short by Edwin. That's it. Tulowitzki takes ball 1.
Well, it's always the #1 goal for a pitcher. Catcher calling a game. You want to shut down the big boys, and you also want to look maybe around the lineup. Who's hot? Who do you not want to beat you? But Porcello covered all his bases tonight.
Swing and a miss by Troy. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tulowitzki this year, and here he is 1 for 3 tonight. This year against Boston pitching, 4 for 33, including tonight. The pitch is fouled off to the left-hand side. Came in 3 for 30, hitting 100 with 12 strikeouts. Well, it's tough to beat Boston with one of your star players like that doing that.
Well, there's no question, and I think that's one thing that we keep talking about this offense, and I know the pitching certainly has been an issue tonight with Marco Estrada, but throughout this whole stretch, I still think the offense has to drive this team, and if they don't get swinging it, you're just not in ball games. Your starters can pitch gems, but you're not going to do anything if you don't swing the bats.
Ziegler ready. And the 1-2 pitch. Line to center field. Coming on Bradley. Pulls up, takes it on a hop base hit. Up to second head when he stops. Tulowitzki with his second base hit. And that's going to now bring up Deanna Navarro. Navarro came up back in the 6th inning. Blue Jays had a couple men on. He popped one up to first, and interference was charged on Tulowitzki as he was watching the ball and then bumped right into Hanley Ramirez. So the out was called. Fielder's choice put Navarro at first base on the interference call as Tulowitzki was taken off the field. So here is Navarro with that fielder's choice strikeout and foul out. He's 0 for 3. Switch hitter batting left-hand. He takes strike 1 called. That's the kind of night it's been.
Have you ever seen one of those where the interference is called by the umpire, yet he still bumps into the runner and goes and makes the catch? I don't recall ever seeing that before.
It happens on occasion. I can remember happening a couple of times, having sat up here for 35 years. The pitch is fouled off to the right, and you can only have obstruction by a fielder. So interference there was the right call because as Ramirez came in, Troy interfered with him. So the out is automatically called. The hitter gets first base on a fielder's choice, and that was the proper call.
Oh, absolutely. And interference, you made that point right there, too. It's very key. Interference is done by the runner. It's the fielder that obstructs a base runner. There is a difference.
Navarro grounds one out to second, and it goes right into the glove of Devin Marrero. Here comes Edwin to score. Tulowitzki stops at second, and the Blue Jays score their first run since the second time, since they scored 2 runs back in the 3rd inning, and now trail it 11-3. And if you're Devin Marrero, you get an opportunity to play, and you come in for, again, what looked to be a routine ground ball. It just rolled right on the dirt to his glove, but he overplayed it coming in and tried to scoop it up with his glove, and it went right under his glove.
Well, we've seen a lot of this tonight, but it's been on the other side by the Blue Jays. And if you're Devin Marrero, you're exactly right. The last thing you want to do is come into a ball game and have that happen, trying to make a good impression, get an opportunity to play.
Here's Michael Saunders. An unearned run charged to Ziegler. The pitch is inside, ball 1. We just saw Devin Travis take a ground ball and boot that one. And I always remember Mike Squires, who coached here and was an advanced scout with Oakland after that. He said, up here, it looks so easy. I had to catch myself. And remember, there's no such thing as a routine ground ball. Well, there's a ground ball to the mound taken by Ziegler. He throws out Saunders, and the inning is over. The unearned in 17, Escape Titanium all-wheel drive. When you pay what Ford employees pay, it's easy to get into a Ford. Not easy tonight for a sold-out crowd of 46,593, 46593. Red Sox lead at 11-3. John Gibbons clears his bench here. New look outfield. Dalton Pompey in left. Ezekiel Carrera is in center. Daryl Siciliani's in right. On the infield, Darwin Barney comes in to play third. Ryan Goins at short. Devin Travis is a holdover at second. Justin Smoke will finish it at first. Deanna Navarro is catching, and John Farrell has to do some paperwork there to make sure he's got everything in line right here. It's real easy at this particular point to make a mistake with the paperwork and then have to pay for it later.
Can't see how important that paperwork is, but you're right. You want to make sure that you're handling that lineup card in the right manner.
So the left-hander, Matt Dermody, who came on last inning, got 2 outs, will face Jackie Bradley Jr. here to start this 9th inning, all Boston by 8. Bradley doubled and scored back in the 6-run 7th inning. A swing and a foul back, strike 1. Bradley will be followed by Brock Holt. And then the top of the order, Dustin Pedroia was there, and after a 4 RBI night, John Farrell said, take those 3 hits and 4 RBIs and go relax in the clubhouse. Bradley takes it outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. The Red Sox, with 11 runs, and now 600. There's a ground ball through the right-hand side. There's a base hit for Bradley. That's his second base hit. As Boston continues their assault here, 17 base hits, 11 runs, 775 runs. Wow.
Well, you like to think maybe they're using some up tonight that they won't score tomorrow. At least that's what the Blue Jays are hoping right about now.
And probably, as we said before, now nobody warming up in the Blue Jays bullpen. Dermody here to face Brock Holt. On deck, Aaron Hill. The pitch is outside, ball 1. It's not so much the 11-3 score. That's bad enough as it is. But starter Marco Estrada just did not have it tonight for whatever reason. And in his last 4 starts, Estrada had pitched to an ERA of 7.29. That's gone up with this start here tonight as the pitch is fouled off to the left. 2 1/3 innings, 77 pitches, 39 balls, 38 strikes. And that's the question tonight. What's happened to Marco Estrada?
Yeah, and we talked about his last start down in St. Pete against the Rays, and he was great through 5 innings, but then he had all kinds of trouble in the 6th, and it happened in a hurry. Leaves that ball game, though, 5+ innings and 5 runs.
The pitch hits Holt in the back. A 90-mile-an-hour fastball from the rookie. No intent there, just not a good pitch. And Boston puts 2 on here to start this 9th inning. Well, that's where it's going to be very interesting to see what happens now to Estrada in the starting rotation.
And I think the most important thing and the first question that has to be asked of Marco is, are you healthy? Is this back lingering? And I'm sure he's not said much about it, but he's certainly pitching as though there is something wrong. Now, again, he was great in his last start before the trouble happened. His start before that, he was very good at Baltimore. So you had to think, okay, is he all right? Is it just his mechanics? Is he just pulling back a little bit now that you almost had to expect he couldn't be this good all season? But these are the questions that will be asked, and they're going to have to sort this out because they certainly need him down the stretch.
Aaron Hill, the batter, takes outside. You're exactly right. And going back just a year ago, look what he did in the playoff games here against the Texas Rangers.
And if there is nothing wrong with Marco and it is just performance-based, then you have to start looking at, is the workload from last year, is it catching up to him? Set a career high last year. That can happen in this game, but no way of predicting it.
Hill goes around on the swing, 1 ball and 1 strike with his playoff innings. 200 innings for Marco Estrada. The former Blue Jay, Aaron Hill, in 36 games since coming in a trade from Milwaukee, hitting just .208. 2 on, nobody out here in the 9th inning. And the 1-1 pitch is inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bo Schultz, the right-hander, warming up now in the Blue Jays' pen out in left center field. Blue Jays have had to use 6 relievers after Estrada's 2 1/3 inning start. Xander Bogaerts is on deck. Dermody kicks and Matt's pitch. Hit down the first base side, over the first base bag, a base hit. It rolls down the line. Bradley in to score. Daryl Siciliani picks it up, throws it back to the infield. To third base, scoots Brock Holt. Aaron goes back to first, an RBI single the other way, and Boston with a dozen now, leading 12-3.
Shortstop number 2 is Xander Bogaerts.
Well, the hits keep coming literally against the Blue Jays. This was a fastball off the plate away, and Aaron Hill just cued it off the end of his bat, tucked it just inside the bag and down the right field line.
18 hits for the Blue Jays. Opponents here tonight, the Boston Red Sox. Blue Jays have been held to 8 hits. Bogaerts the batter. Xander takes strike 1 called. Bogaerts led off the bat-around 6-run 7th inning with a home run to left field, his 18th. That made it 6-2 at the time. Later in the inning, Hanley Ramirez, a 3-run home run to right center field. That made it 9-2. All that off Scott Feldman. Strike 1 pitch. Ground ball hit to shortstop, and the hole to glove it is Goins to throw it on the first in time. Coming in to score from third base is Holt. That makes it a baker's dozen. It's 13-3. And that is the first out here in this Boston 9th.
Designated hitter number 65, Yoan Moncada.
So Hill goes up to second. Ryan Goins makes it look so easy.
Didn't he, though? I thought maybe he was ranging to his right there, and he tried to off-balance throw to second to get that lead runner, but he knew the whole time what he wanted to do. That's what good shortstops do. They see the play ahead of them. Ryan knew right away where he was going with that ball, and he threw a strike to first.
Here's Yoan Moncada. He takes strike 1 called. He came on to run for David Ortiz back in the 8th inning. Ortiz ended up going 2 for 5. Moncada with Mookie Betts to follow. Strike 1 pitch. That's outside. See, if you're 40, you're taken out for a pinch runner. If you're 23, you stay in the game like Mookie Betts.
You're young. Stay in there, young lad.
So Hill at second base with 1 out. And the next pitch. Strike on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Moncada square stance right there on top of the plate. Bright red socks from those bright red shoes right to the knees. And the 1-2 pitch. Inside, gets away from Navarro. The ball rolls to the backstop once again, and the Honor having a tough night behind the plate. To third base goes Aaron Hill.
It's the point in the evening that Deano Navarro just wants this game to end, and I'm sure it's the same case for a lot of these Blue Jays players. Turn the page and wake up tomorrow morning with a fresh start.
And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 2 down. Well, I think, Joe, you're exactly right. For me, I've never seen Deano Navarro struggle like this in a game behind the plate.
Yeah, it just gets bad. Goes from bad to worse even as the night has gone on, and we've seen the Red Sox just continue to put up numbers and big ones at times.
So here is Betts. In the very first inning, Dustin Pedroia off Estrada singled. And with 2 down, Betts stepped up and doubled to right center field. That made it 1-0. Mookie a swing and a miss, strike 1. Then the Red Sox added a second run. In the second inning, Dustin Pedroia singled home Jackie Bradley, who had walked on 4 pitches to start the inning and was wild pitched to second. And then Betts singled and triggered a 2-run third inning rally that gave Boston a 4-0 lead, and been pretty much their game the whole night. Fastball is up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mookie Betts, an MVP candidate to be sure. With the RBI tonight, 101. 4th in the American League, coming in with his even 100. He takes it low. Came in with 185 hits. He's added 2 more to that. How's he done in hits? He's second in the league to Jose Altuve. Total bases, he's first, a key stat. Came in with 322. 58 multi-hit games. That leads the league. And here he is. He takes a strike on the outside corner, and hitting with runners in scoring position with 2 outs, he leads the American League, hitting .431. Why not an MVP?
Don't you get the feeling this MVP race is going to go down to the wire as well?
Mookie Betts. Hill down from third. The 2-2 pitch. A swing and a foul back. Just got a piece of it. Mookie, as we said, is only 23. Born in Brentwood, Tennessee. His parents named him Marcus Lynn Betts. But they loved NBA guard Mookie Blaylock so much that as a kid he was nicknamed Mookie and the name stuck.
It's a great baseball name, isn't it?
It is. Mookie Wilson played right here. The 2-2 pitch inside, ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. What a lot of people don't know about Mookie Betts, in high school in 2010, he was named the best high school bowler in the state of Tennessee. He began bowling when he was 4 years old, pushing that ball down the aisle. 3-2 pitch, popped up into shallow left field. Goins out for it. The shortstop looks up into the nighttime sky. He has it. Betts retired. The Sox add a couple. As we go to the bottom of the 9th, Boston leads at 13-3. You're listening to Home Hardware Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet radio network. For Boston, start at the mound. Koji Uehara comes on. Christian Vasquez will finish it up behind the plate. Sandy Leon started as the catcher, batting 7th, had a couple of hits. Devin Marrero will move from second to short. Xander Bogaerts is through for the night. He just drove in and run with a ground ball. And Marco Hernandez will be at second base as Boston and the Blue Jays clear the benches here in a Boston 13-3 lead here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Dalton Pompey will come up here against Uehara. The switch hitter, batting left-handed, takes strike 1.
Well, Uehara, working in his 41st game of the season, spent some time on the disabled list with a pec strain, just reinstated on Monday through a perfect 8th inning with a couple of strikeouts Wednesday night in San Diego.
He's outside, 1-1.
This is a reliever that they'll need down the stretch too, and it's been an issue for the Red Sox in their bullpen throughout the course of the season. Carson Smith, I think, was the big name that they signed that was going to be a big piece that did not work out.
A strike on the inside corner.
He and Craig Kimbrell were going to form the back end, but Carson Smith out for the season with Tommy John surgery. Kimbrell now back, but they're piecing it together, but looks like things are coming together for the Red Sox at the right time.
1-2 pitch foul back. Well, they've got all the mojo you could ask for, and again, very similar to the Blue Jays last year in August and September. And pulling away with that offense, 11 more runs, and then 2 more here in the top of the 9th inning to make it 13. Daryl Siciliani is on deck, and then the top of the order, Devin Travis. The 1-2 pitch inside to Dalton, 2-2.
Much like we felt, though, broadcasting the Blue Jays games last year, it seemed like even when they gave up 3 or 4 or 5 runs, the offense could always come back, and that's what the feeling you get with this Red Sox club. Of course, 13 runs tonight is more than enough, but when you can swing the bats the way this team does, they're not going to be out of too many ball games.
O'Hara's pitch hit down the left field side, bloop foul. Long run, but unable to catch up to it there, Brock Holt. So it's still 2-2. Well, this is where, when the game is over, you go back, you shower, you get out of here, and then tomorrow you say to Jay Happ, go 7, 8, or 9 innings.
Go get them, that's right. I got to believe those guys will be exiting the clubhouse rather quickly tonight. This will be one of those nights where you grab your quick bite in the shower and you're gone.
And the 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Pompey strikes out to begin the 9th inning.
Right fielder number 9, Daryl Siciliani.
Rick Porcello is going to be Major League Baseball's first 20-game winner. When this one's over, he went 7, gave up 2 runs on 6 hits, came in 19-3. And Jay Happ here in the month of September still could get to 20 wins himself. He's going to have at least 3 starts. Siciliani, a left-handed hitter, goes around, strike 1. And Jay has had a tough time getting to number 18.
Jay coming off a very difficult start against the Rays, not getting out of the 3rd inning. Just not sharp at all in his last start.
The strike 1 pitch hit foul past first base coach Tim Leeper. It's 0-2.
But the start before that in Baltimore, he was very good. Not the sharpest, but he pitched very well. Pitched into the 7th inning, just 3 runs. So not a good time for their horses to be not pitching well, but that's why sometimes, you look at the numbers, and was Marco Estrada going to pitch this year to an ERA under 3? I don't think so. Was Happ going to be around 3 all season? I don't think so.
No. The pitch misses 1-2.
So you hope this is a little tough stretch they're going through, but it needs to be rectified right now from here on in because they're slowly running out of time.
Uehara into his motion. Deals 1-2, a swing and a foul back. And the bottom line for a team built to hit home runs, if the Blue Jays do not hit a home run here in this 9th inning, it'll now mark only 2 home runs in their last 7 games, just 2. And when the club has not hit a home run in a game, they are 8-27. So there you go. Even the home runs have kind of disappeared. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Siciliani gone. Uehara, a couple of strikeouts, and here's Devin Travis.
And when your biggest weapon disappears, the long ball, that's when you know you're in big trouble because this team has not been able to do the other things. Continue innings, get that big base hit when they need it, drive in those key runs.
Travis fouls one off to the right, strike 1. Josh Donaldson 0 for 4, 1 for his last 20. And there's the spark. We haven't seen a spark yet over the last maybe week and a half.
Yeah, it's been a while, and I think with Josh, too, you know that once he gets it going, it's going to be ugly. He'll get it going, and he can carry a team. And not just carry a team, but I think that tends to be when guys follow suit.
Devin takes outside 1-1.
Sometimes it's hard when your big boys are not swinging it. You go throughout the lineup, and then other hitters are trying to do too much because they're not getting the job done at the top of the lineup, so you try too much at the bottom, and it just makes it worse for everyone.
Swing and a miss by Travis, 1-2. Now Devin, a couple of base hits, and when he singled the left field on the ground back in the 3rd inning with the bases loaded, nobody out, that cut the Red Sox lead to 4-2. But then Donaldson struck out, and Edwin hit into a double play, and that's where Rick Porcello was at his best. 1-2 pitch, hit the right field, moving for it over in the corner. The right fielder, does he have room? Mookie Betts runs out of room. It's in the crowd. So still 1-2 on Travis. But that was a key moment in the game. 4-2 Boston. There were the Blue Jays with runners at first and second, nobody out, 2 runs in. The Donaldson strike 3 called on the inside corner, and Edwin the 5-4-3 double play, and was Boston that point on, it was their game.
Oh, that was damage control by Rick Porcello. That inning could have been broken open, and things could have been very different the rest of the night, but Porcello was able to hold them at 2 and hang on to that 2-run lead at the time.
1-2 on Travis. Pitch on the way. Outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tomorrow, 12:30 pregame show. 1:07 first pitch. J-Happ 17-4. Lefty Eduardo Rodriguez 2-6. Aaron Sanchez takes on Clay Buchholz, the veteran, on Sunday. And then Tampa Bay here on Monday. 2-2 pitch. Pop foul. First base side. Dustin Pedroia, 3 hits, 4 runs batted in to lead the way. Hanley Ramirez, a 3-run home run. Xander Bogaerts, a home run. And an RBI and a ground out. 2 sacrifice flies. That's what the Red Sox do. They don't just drive home runs with hits. They've done it 3 times tonight with outs. There's a line drive foul down the left field side. Such a key statistic, getting runners home from third with less than 2 outs.
Finding ways. Sometimes it's just situational hitting that they practice in batting practice every day. If the infield is back, you don't need the big swing. A ground ball to the second baseman or shortstop, a 17 hopper will cash a run in. Those are the runs that add up at the end of a ball game or at the end of the season in terms of run batted in.
2-2 pitch grounded up the middle. Base hit for Devon. That's his 3rd hit. Just the 9th for the Blue Jays. He's back at first base, and here comes Donaldson, but Donaldson's out, so it's Ezekiel Carrera who's going to hit in this spot. Carrera came on to play center field in the top of this 9th inning with the wholesale changes. Travis, 3 hits tonight. He had a double and a single Wednesday in the final game in New York. Before that, had a single. Carrera pops up the first pitch foul. It's going to come back into the crowd. Strike 1. Travis has actually been as hot as anybody lately, and he's got a 6-game hitting streak, including tonight, over which he's hit better than 400.
And you know, this is the time of the game when you can easily just fold the tent and cash in, but as a hitter, you don't want to throw at-bats away. Every at-bat counts, and, you know, credit Devon in this situation. Does a base hit right now mean anything? Not really, but to a hitter it does, and to your confidence and between your ears, and that's a big deal moving forward.
Pitch is outside.
He gets to wake up in the morning with a 3-hit night tonight, feeling pretty good about himself, and 2-hit night's good too, but when you get those 3 knocks, you come to the ballpark tomorrow feeling pretty good, and as a hitter, confidence, as a player in any aspect, confidence is very important. Hopefully you can carry that in.
And the pitch, a strike on the inside corner, 1-2. And what has 3 hits done for his average? Well, when you look at the Blue Jays hitters there on that Jays Vision scoreboard, he's the only one hitting 300 and right on the button. Picked up 5 points here tonight, came in hitting 295. Uehara set. And the 1-2 pitch, lined into right center field, moving over Mookie Betts. He makes the catch. It's over as Boston wins Game 1 of this weekend series, 13-3. We'll be back with more right after this. You're listening to Home Hardware Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
No restrictions, no limits. It's that kind of sale. Right now at Tip Top Tailors. Buy one item, get another at 50% off throughout the entire store.
A sale more freeing than pulling that tie off at the end of the day. Choose from everything in the store. Buy one item at Tip Top Tailors and get another one of equal or lesser value at 50% off. It's easy and it's awesome.
See store for details.